is Doug Walker. You're watching The Crazy House, Crazy McCormick.
And of course it's screwed up. What the hell's going on, y'all? Crazy here. Well, in spirit, I guess, because my face cam isn't working. There, no. Now there we go. There it is. How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody had a good week. I actually did not have a bad week myself. It was very quiet at work. And when I say quiet, I mean because one person that is loud as shit and annoying as fuck didn't show up for the majority of the week, if at all. I think maybe Monday, and that was it. But other than that, very peaceful work week. And then on top of that, I actually didn't have to fucking work yesterday, so I got to go grocery shopping. Bought all the essentials that I need: frozen burritos, frozen pizzas, frozen pizza rolls, frozen chicken tenders, frozen fucking burgers, like if it was oh yeah, and jalapeno poppers. Those are frozen too. And then a bunch of fucking candy and fucking canned pasta. I live a very fucking healthy life, don't I? On top of that, I also ended up going video game shopping, and y'all know how it is with me in fucking video games. But I definitely have to say I gotta brag about this a little bit because I'm actually very satisfied with the video game hunting that I did this week. The reason being is because of how much I got versus how much I spent. And honestly, on top of that, um, how much the value of all of this is. So first and foremost, I'm gonna show you the shit, and then after that, we'll go on with the show. Because that's how I fucking do. I got to hold on this particular fucking frame for reasons. Just for the sake of I don't know. I don't just what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, just for the sake of keeping it with the same as the other previous shows, just tradition, I guess, is what is the best term I can come up with. But anyways, here we go. So first off and foremost, we have goal for the regular Nintendo. This is actually, I didn't know this, but this is actually the same company made this that made the Bases Loaded series. So yeah, Jalico. And of course, those people are fucking gone now, but whatever. I'm sure that somewhere in there is they're there in spirit. Now, this one you're probably going to laugh at, but it is one that I do not have in my collection, but I needed it. Just imagine a 42-year-old man going to a video game store and saying, you know what I really need right now is Sesame Street, Big Bird's Hide and Speak. Apparently, this is the first talking game for Nintendo. I'll be the judge of that. And keeping in mind, those are the only Nintendo games that I got. And by the way, I took my daughter with me, and the first thing that she did was she went through the more modern aisles, and she came across One Piece World Seeker for the PS4. And this is another one of those One Piece games that I really wanted to get because I have Odyssey, and I really enjoy Odyssey, and I want to see how World Seeker feels. This one, yeah, I got that for $16.99, and the store was trying to price it at $19.99, even though the sticker sale said $16.99. Whatever, they still charged me $16.99 for that sumbitch. By the way, the two NES, one of the NES games I actually got for free, which was Goal, I think. Yeah, they gave me Goal for free, and Big Bird Hide and Speak was actually $2.99, even though both of them were priced at $4.99. The reason why I was able to get Goal for free was because of the buy 6 get 1 free deal that the store always does. And I also see that Justin Kemple is up in the chat. Same with Bizarre17. Whoop whoop to y'all. So here's the next one that I have. This one, Sega CD, because you guys remember, I think last week I was bragging, and I also posted about it on Instagram, that I ended up getting the JVC XI. So now I have opened the doors to be able to get Sega CD games. So this is the next Sega CD game that I end up buying. This one is the Sega Genesis Classics, and I have it upside down. So this has 4 classic Sega Genesis games, and there's actually a second version of this where there's 5 games instead of 4. But this one has Streets of Rage, Revenge of Shinobi, Columns, and Golden Axe. Now here's the beauty of this. It's actually a fucking double game where it also has a copy of Sherlock Holmes something detective. I'm sure that this is like one of those interactive games, kind of like those were popular back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Looks like a few of you guys migrated over here from Deck One Delt. That's dope. Now, here's the thing. The price on that is $24.99. They sold it to me for $16.99. What up, Ninja with a Pencil? What up, Wes? What up, DC Fago Guy? Do I have a Sega Saturn? Yes, I do. The only thing in the Sega catalog that I currently do not own, other than a Sega Game Gear, is a Sega Master System. That is the only system that I do not have. I do have games for both of those systems, but I do not have the handheld and I do not have the cartridge. Now, here's the beauty. This to me is the beauty. Every once in a while, you go to the video game store, they'll end up selling you bundles of Atari games. And sometimes they'll end up having like multiples in these bundles. But I find that interesting that they have this in a bundle. So in this bundle, there's a couple of games in here that you probably haven't heard of. And it's strange. It's like how many are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 games in here, right? 2 of them are unmarked. They look like they come from the same company, but I'm not sure what they are. So they're mystery games. I don't count those. But I bought this whole pack of 8 for $4.99. Right? In here, they consist of Maze Kreyz, Lock and Chase, Space Invaders, which I already have a copy of that, Astro Blast, the mystery game number 1, Firefighter, mystery game number 2, and Cosmic Arc, which I already have. So half of these games I got for $4.99. But nevertheless, it was like, yeah. Yeah, this is definitely the same equivalent as me fucking banding up $100 bill. You know, banding up $100 bills and then pretending to use it as a phone. This is my phone. Like, this is definitely the phone, fam. And then I also, on top of that, have a miniature phone. I have the smaller version. These are actually, like, this is the funny thing. This is a different group, and this is actually for the Mattel Intellivision, but they sold it as an Atari game bundle. So I don't have. So these are the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 cartridges for the Intellivision that I now have physical copies of. And these, like, I think that the Intellivision has a relatively small fucking library. Not as small as, I want to say, the ColecoVision, but still. There are some actually good fucking games that are on here. The only problem with the only problem with Intellivision is that it has a controller that has a disc for a directional pad, 4 buttons, 2 on each side of the controller, and then it has a number pad where you're supposed to slide a fucking thing into the number pad thing to actually let you know what buttons do what. So it's very hard to emulate. I tried perfecting this all night last night. I was up till 8 o'clock in the morning trying to run and test on trying to get these games to fucking work on my Sega Genesis Mini. Holy shit, is it exhausting. Because of that type of stuff. Because each game has different buttons that it works with. But nevertheless, let's go down the list of games here. This is going to be interesting. So the first 2 games are actually based on the movie Tron. Because Tron came out in the early 80s, starring the dude in both of them. You know, Jeff Bridges, which I love Jeff Bridges as an actor. Starman, the dude, Obadiah, you know, Obadiah Stane from Iron Man, and Kevin Flynn from Tron. So the first one is called Deadly Discs, which I'm assuming is going to be based off of that game in the movie. And then they also have Tron Mazatron, which is a game that I guess they like literally, like, there's only 2 main games in the Tron movie, which is Deadly Discs and, you know, the disc game and Light Cycle. So Mazatron is probably a game that should have come out but didn't. And yeah, it is definitely 100% based off of these movies, because I am seeing the copyright 1982 and 1981 from Disney on the cartridges. Then you also have Night Stalker, which I have not tried yet, Star Strike, Astro Smash, which was not the same as Astro Blast. In Astro Smash, you have asteroids and meteors falling from the sky and bombs and aliens and shit like that. And the whole point of the game is just to shoot until you lose all of your lives. and try to get the most amount of points. However, if a meteor or an asteroid falls on the ground, you lose points, which I thought was interesting. There's also a button on there where you can press a button to make it so you have the fucking rapid fire, so you can just hold that motherfucker down. And also, which you might as well, because like pressing the same button over and over and over again is just fucking exhausting, and it hurts your thumb. And then on top of that, let's see. In addition to that, I also have a game in here. It's called Microsurgeon, and then the last one is a video game based on the character Dracula. Now, this is the thing that I found funny. In this bundle, Astro Smash, which is one of my favorite games for the Intellivision next to Shark Shark, they were actually selling Astro Smash by itself for $7.99. So it's like, why the fuck wouldn't you just sell Astro Smash by itself for $7.99 instead of putting it in this $4.99 bundle? I would assume that it's because they want to try to get rid of it. That was actually what caused me to buy this Intellivision bundle in the first place, because, well, one of these games has to be somewhere around like $4.99, and it turns out that all of them except for one of them was above $4.99. The lowest one that was in that value of that bundle was $3. But here's the kicker: I started putting all of the shit in because I always put all of my game information onto pricecharting.com. That's how I'm actually able to archive all of my collection. And so I do it the minute I get home and I start, seeing the differences. So with the thing like this, like the one that I normally do is like the first game that's on the top, that's how much I'm going to fucking say, okay, this one's $4.99 and the rest were free, basically. So think about this. It's like $50 and I bought 19 games. Now here's the funny part. After doing the math, and on top of that, finding out that Dracula, out of all of those fucking cartridges, $20. Dracula is worth $20 fucking dollars. That, once again, could have sold that motherfucker on its own. Because this store, like the store that I go to, normally gets their pricing deals from pricecharting.com. That's where they get their fucking shit. Like, that's where they get their prices from. And they update it every fucking week. They could have actually seen that Dracula was worth $20. But like between all of those cartridges for the Atari and the Intellivision games, I made $60 profit on those alone. And then the other 4 is just like dope. And I spent $50 for all of that. And just the Atari and the television games alone, I made a $10 profit. How fucking cool is that? That made my fucking day. I was so happy about that. So let's go on with the show. All right. Now that I've gotten that out of the way and I've bored a couple of people. I mean, you guys know I play fucking video games. I mean, for shit's sake. I am the guy. All right. Like, you want to talk about video games too. I may not have the greatest fucking collection or the biggest fucking collection, but I do have a pretty impressive fucking collection. Especially when I'm fucking buying shit like Little Samson. Like, that's the type of shit. You could have worked a real job and made hundreds a week. Huh. Apparently you weren't here at the very beginning of the show, dumb fuck. Because I just said I worked all week. I have an actual job. And then I fucking use it to buy fucking frozen burritos and video games. Like, pay attention. What up? Now, let's get on with the fucking show. So, as we see, today is the 4th of May, which means that since the last time I saw you, something big fucking happened. It turned May. So I hope that on the 30th of April, I hope that each and every single one of you left out milk and cookies for Justin Timberlake. Now, moving on with that one, let's go to the next fucking thing. Let's just say facts are facts here. It's already May, and on top of that, there's also the other holiday that comes up, and that is Star Wars Day. So, I hope that you guys left out milk and cookies once again for Darth Vader. Now, I don't know why this actually turned into a fucking holiday, but it's funny because like there are some people that are on the internet that actually are upset with this. It's like, are you a fucking I don't know why would you be upset about Star Wars Day turning into an actual thing? Like I left a plate of spaghetti for George Lucas. Ah, that's fantastic, bro. Like, yes, absolutely. All the yes on that one. Why does 3PO look like he has a bullet head? His head does not come to a point like that. But like to me, it's like I don't understand why anybody would actually be upset about this. When I found out about May the 4th, it was actually because here in West Michigan we have a minor league baseball team, the West Michigan Whitecaps, and actually on May the 4th they actually do have a Star Wars themed event during the baseball season. And so like you actually would have a bunch of people cosplaying as mostly Jedi, but like you'd have like every once in a while you'd have like a Princess Leia in the white dress and not the fucking gold bikini like I would like to see. But yeah, but like on top of that, like I mean the gold bikini would definitely make my Kessel run. But anyways, uh, like that's the first time I actually even heard about Star Wars Day being a fucking thing. And then as the years have gone by, more and more I've heard more and more people being like, "May the Fourth be with you," you know. And then obviously Cinco de Mayo being the Revenge of the Fifth. You would think that they would actually take that day off and be and actually have it be the Revenge of the Sixth. That's closer to the word Sith. Let the Mexicans have their fucking holiday tomorrow, and then we have the Revenge of the Sixth, which is everybody having a fucking tequila hangover. But I actually saw somebody on Facebook that actually does not like Star Wars Day being a fake holiday. And like, okay, as opposed to all the other fake holidays that we celebrate throughout the fucking year, let us have this one. Quit acting like a goddamn Trekkie. All right. I triple dog dare anybody to actually legitimately try to say that Han Solo is a bitch. But like then again, I started a fake beef with my best friend over whether or not Greedo shot first. But nevertheless, everybody that's in the chat, I definitely have to tell that to you. May the Fourth be with you. And we're gonna actually, I'm hoping that we're gonna have a fun continuation with this fucking show. And hopefully I can get through this real quick because I'm really itching to fucking play Nintendo. Like, I just soft modded my fucking Sega Genesis to play all of my Intellivision games. I figured out how to get it to play Sega CD games and my 5200 games. So, like, my gameplay shit is definitely on lock. And somewhere in there, I'm pretty sure that I have a couple of Star Wars games based off of the Holy Trinity and not the prequel shit. Well, maybe one. And so far, I haven't seen anything based off of the new three, you know, the final trilogy. We're separating these in trilogies because there's 9 fucking movies and they all come in different bundles. But nevertheless, let's go on to the next fucking topic. So if you saw the episode last week, you saw that I ended up having somebody ended up making me a fucking garbage pail kid. Like, how fucking cool is that? Like, you know, so yeah, just Chris from Deck One Delt, the homie, ended up fucking making me and a whole bunch of others into fucking Garbage Pail Kids. Bro, that Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra costs $1,300 plus tax in a case that's basically $1,500. Nobody's complaining about that because a lot of people buy it because it's an absolute beast. All right, cool. I'm happy with my flip phone. Like that, like not hating against it, but I like the Flip Z. But anyways, yeah, I wanted to show I showed this to you because like not only are we have a new fucking person that's come into uh like into the game of doing these fucking Garbage Pail Kids, and it's the homegirl known as Hashley. So like you see right here, you have Hashley. She made herself uh, a Garbage Pail Kid, and you'll be able to see this here. But this is one of the this is another group of Garbage Pail Kid characters that Ashley has been making. So now we have two players in the game that are all making Garbage Pail Kids. You have Just Chris from Deck One Delt, and you have Ashley. So here's a couple of people, and I'm sure that there's a bunch of people in here that I don't fucking know. But there's going to be some that I absolutely do, and I'll let you know who's who. So yeah, the first one was Gronsky. I don't know who that is. Toxic Love, no idea who that is, but it looks pretty funny that dude's wearing a T-shirt of himself being lit on fire by some completely different bitch. But like, and his chain. Look at where his chain's going. Like his chain's going out to the back of his neck and coming out of his mouth. So meaning that there's a hole in the back of his head where the chain is fucking stuck. This poor bastard. Every chick that he's with, whether it's this chick or the chick on his t-shirt, is doing something gruesome to his ass. The point is that these new console prices aren't bad compared to top market smartphones. I mean, we'll get a little bit into that later. You know, like just stick around. I plan on talking more about video games because we are going to actually talk about the price hike. All right, so we got Space Case, which this is actually a pretty good photo, but it's definitely not saying Garbage Pail Kid to me. Like Garbage Pail Kids actually have like a specific look. They're supposed to look like beat the fuck up Cabbage Patch dolls. But I do like the background, and the green Fago is actually a pretty interesting touch as well. Hatchet Man shoes and a Chapter 17 t-shirt. All right, so this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like this looks like a fucking Garbage Pail Kid, Fluffalo, covered in Fago, wearing the face paint. Looks like he's getting dumped on. Like that just looks like orange jizz all over his fucking body. And I don't know what this yellowness is, but I'm sure that that's supposed to be like somebody dumped a whole thing of Gatorade on him or something, or Fago. Heather Mars, like I've heard of this chick, but I really don't know anything about her. But it looks pretty good. But once again, doesn't have that Cabbage Patch doll look. You know what I'm saying? The last one is awesome. All right, so here we have Sizzling Shade. I wonder why. But it's actually pretty cool. Like this is actually pretty fucking cool because like it's him with food, but like I don't. I guess maybe the GPT chat couldn't like come up with fucking the hot wings because that's what Shade has become known for is the hot wings contest. Instead, we got a plate full of meatballs, which I'm not complaining because I do like meatballs. And Shade's makeup looks doesn't look like Shade's actual makeup, but nevertheless, it is what it is. It does look like Shade though. And as you can see right here, I actually did say, I wonder why. Anytime I see him or Olay or Demise, I'm just saying, I wonder why. All right, 666. I think I've heard of this chick. I might have actually seen her at shows or at the gathering or something like that. But once again, you know, it's like Cabbage Patch. Come on. Like, the Garbage Pail Kids look like beat up Cabbage Patch dolls. So, but it is cool nevertheless. I'm assuming as much that it actually does look like Homegirl, nevertheless. And I don't know who that is. Acetone Boogie, as we all know who the fuck that motherfucker is. Fuck Acetone. Love you, dog. But yeah, it doesn't look. Oh my god! It to me it doesn't look like it doesn't look like Acetone a whole lot. But I do think it's funny that it's got like a Hello Kitty right next to it. She definitely looks about 3 to 4 apples tall. By comparison, to Acetone. But it is interesting. Some of the shit in the background. Hey nerd, hi. That's more me, I think, than Acetone. And then he's got the bubblegum pop Fago. That's pretty dope, actually. See, like this one, yeah, Wicked. The guy's name is just Wicked. Typical fucking juggalo smoking weed at the gathering, wrapped around in Fago. I know it doesn't look like Acetone at all. Like it almost looks stereotypically Mexican. Like just like this right here is the teeth. That's where like the focal point of this ends up being, and it's just like, no, that's definitely not Acetone. A for effort. Wicked. Everything about this is stereotypically fucking juggalo to the core. Stoned out of his mind at the gathering, surrounded by Fago, and his name is Wicked. But at least it looks very similar to the Garbage Pail Kid looks, Wearing a bucket hat. It's chapter 17 to fuck out. Okay, so there's 2 versions of this chick that I saw. Twisted Let MJ. So this is kind of funny. At the gathering, once again, and somewhere in here it just says weed. It just says weed in the background. So there's the other one. Once again, weed. There's a weed tent apparently there is a weed tent at the gathering where people are selling the marijuana leaves. And the marijuana leaves are floating everywhere along with the balloons, and maybe they're inflatable weed leaves. A lot of juggalos do tend to fucking be all about their marijuana injections. Okay, here's another one, Bobby Ann. This is for that. She's from the Wicked Clowns Harm Reduction, and we got this is actually pretty cool. Like this is these are nice people just because of the fact that they have fentanyl test strips, as if we really needed that to exist. But we live in a world now where fentanyl has fucking completely taken over the drugs in our fucking country, which kind of fucking sucks. That's why Canada and Mexico have fucking tariffs on them, because fuck fentanyl. But also you have the Narcan, which I'm assuming is supposed to be used as a fucking cure-all to sober you up or something. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't do drugs, so I don't have any reason for fentanyl strips or Narcan. And I also don't trust any motherfucker with open food. And then we got Burrito Man, which is awesome. It looks like Burrito Man, but it doesn't look like a Garbage Pail Kid. But I love the fact that she took the picture of Burrito Man and made him into a Garbage Pail Kid, because Burrito Man is one of those people that definitely deserves having a fucking Garbage Pail Kid picture. And then Flutter T. I don't know who this is, but it kind of does have that resemblance. It looks more like a pixelated fucking version of a Garbage Pail Kid. And I'm noticing a theme here. Almost everybody that has their picture done is done at the gathering of the Juggalos. So here's Hashley, the first time that she did one, Hashley Hayes. This is her first one. And it was just like they overdid it on the tattoos, and all the tattoos that she has are all fucking roses and pot leaves. I feel like that is probably the combination of what Hashley's fucking natural musk is. Roses and pot leaves. At the gathering. Once again, I think this was actually the first one. The second one was the redone version. But like I would honestly have to say versus this one versus this one, there's definitely a couple of things that they definitely got right. A couple of things. And her face. And she is a photographer, so she does roam around doing the fucking uh she does do photography and shit like that. This one's a little bit better. I thought that this one actually looked much, much better. But once again, not Cabbage Patch. Looking beat the fuck down Cabbage Patch doll. These two are the closer ones of what Garbage Pail Kids look like. This one is just like, let's make her fucking sexier than she. I don't know how, but apparently Chat GPT definitely knows how to fucking do it. And then we got her. Like this is more her because she I follow her on TikTok and I've kind of like followed the journey that she has gone through for the last year or so, and this is definitely her like riding a fucking horse, smoking a joint, but it's at the gathering and taking pictures. So like the only thing that's not here for for a representation of Ashley would be a wood burning kit. Then we got this other one, like this ain't her at all. Like this makes her look more Amazonian than anything else. But once again, still at the fucking gathering of the Juggalos. And then this one is currently the most Cabbage Patch Dolly fucking Garbage Pail Kid version of her. Even the horse looks like a fucking Garbage Pail Kid. This is the closest in representation to a Garbage Pail Kid that I've gotten of her so far. And then this one, like the face don't even look like her at all. And then even the horse has fucking tattoos on its arm and a boot for some fucking reason. And apparently, in case you're too high to know, this is a tent. I'm surprised that the Ferris wheel doesn't say Ferris wheel on it. But what the fuck? Why does the horse? The horse has a boot, and the boot has a fucking has a fucking lift on it. That poor horse. Like the horse is gonna fall over because of the fucking spike on the boot that it's wearing on its hoof, and then people are gonna wonder what the hell's wrong with it, and we got no choice but to fucking shoot it for some reason. Here's another one of Ashley. This time, no boot on the fucking horse, but this one definitely has more. Looks more Garbage Pail Kitty. And then I guess this is the one that she decided to use for her avatar. So there's that. Once again, this is another one of her. I don't know why the Fago says Vago. Apparently, Fago is Vagisil. Because it says Vago. The horse looks real. Like, there's nothing about this at all that's Garbage Pail Kitty, but it looks good. I'm not going to lie. All right, let's try to get some more. All right, Bubbles. So this chick's fucking got pot leaves on her top, and she's like apparently she's throwing out condoms out by the fucking bucket load. Like the fuck, and all the juggalos here are like just reaching for it. Like, yeah, I definitely need these because we forgot to buy them. Ghost the Demented. So I don't know who this is, but it looks pretty fucking dope. I like the fact that it has that. Oh wait, never mind. Chad. Just Chad. All right. Now, everything about this guy, okay, so Iowa State shirt, Compton hat, natty for the beverage. And he's a carpenter, smoking weed. Why is it that almost every fucking Garbage Pail Kid out here has to, like a vast majority of them are just juggalos smoking weed? It literally fucking makes weed less fucking attractive. Now, here's a fucked up one. All right, so you've got Mary and Tim. Okay, he's holding a beer and he's got fingers growing out of his forearms to hold mushrooms. You know, well, this girl's got she dropped the blunt to start up another one while holding her fucking comb and brush with the fucking force, I guess. And for some strange reason, these are the same tattoos that were put on Ashley, and this guy's fucking jeans have tattoos of faces. This is from Camp Nobody. All right, Inky Ben. Now this definitely looks like a Garbage Pail Kid. This is a little bit combination of realistic, but the victim here has a Garbage Pail Kid look to it. Like, this is gruesome as fuck, and that right there is much more Garbage Pail Kitty. And for some reason, it has eyes all over its body that kind of remind me of fucking Rob Zombie art. Al Como. And he's fucking tattooing another eye on here. That is fucking gruesome. That is what Garbage Pail Kids were all about. But look at this. Look at the aggression on Homeboy's face though, where he's like sweating beads while he's like jamming a fucking tattoo gun into this dude's stomach. This is fucking dope. And dude's fucking sweating green shit. Like, everything about this is gross, and that's awesome. Like, that is Garbage Pail Kid shit right there. Brandon and Rose. Ducks. Also from Camp Nobody. Just a bunch of baby duckies. And then two very generic looking people. I'm getting away with this just because of the fact that I don't know who the fuck these people are. And I bet you if they approach me and be like, I heard what you said on your fucking podcast on fucking Star Wars Day, fam. You look like two regular generic people to me. I'm sorry. All right, The Wiz, Wizard of the Collectibles. So I don't know what this is supposed to be, but apparently it's at least it's Homeboy on the fucking, on the yellow brick alleyway. But this looks too cartoony for Garbage Pail. All right, here we go. Back to more Garbage Pail Kid. Mayor Bear and Eyeball. And he's got an eyeball. Camp Mom and Dad. And so, like, this looks more Garbage Pail Kitty in body type. The faces, though. I mean, obviously, the faces have to look as similar and close to whoever it is that they possibly can get. All right, so that was whatever. Toxic Love again. Space Case again. Fluffalo again. Heather Mars again. Acetone Boogie. Damn it. No. What are you doing? Okay, there we go. Now here we go. Yeah, like she also did a couple of apparently she also did a couple of them of herself as like Monster High dolls. So Jasmine, for some reason, stuck in a shopping cart at the Dollar General. And you can tell this is fucking Dollar General, but it's not Garbage Pail Kid looking. All right, Headless Ninja. This one, yeah, I think I've seen that dude around a couple of times. And yeah, so like this one actually looks pretty fucking dope. It does have like a Ferris wheel in the background. However, it's more haunted housey. It's a breath of fresh air in comparison to all of the other ones that were in the Dark Carnival. Hillbilly, like that, yeah. This definitely fucking says hillbilly all over this bitch. Dude's fucking drinking a beer while busting out an engine. He's also got a couple of rusty beer cans where there's a beer can inside this beer can. Junkyard background. It's pretty well represented. The arms and body definitely feel like they're Garbage Pail Kid shit. But the face, I mean, the face looks too fucking graphic for it to be, but whoever this is, I'm sure that's who it looks like. Scrappy. Definitely not the Scrappy I know, but it has a front bill and a back bill. God, Chat GPT, What the fuck are you doing? Wrestler at the gathering of the Juggalos. God damn it. I fucking said too much, didn't I? Alright, so let's go ahead with the next thing. Groundhog. Okay. Shirtless guy smoking weed. There's a beaver in the fucking weed cloud. Lots of weed. All it is just weed. Like, there's so many of these motherfuckers that have weed, it just bothers the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? The wrestling title was interesting too. Dalette. So, face kind of looks almost like Garbage Pail Kid. Once again, gathering of the Juggalos. There's a Cyclops in the background staring at her fucking ass. Fago bottles all over the place. At least it does say Fago instead of Vajo. Big Bank Beef. Okay, this is actually fucking interesting because it does have the Garbage Pail Kid face, but it, like, dude's wearing a fucking straw cowboy hat, beef caked the fuck up, money all over the place. Somehow he's got, yeah, at working his job as a, dropping concrete, but I've never seen a concrete mixer that had the fucking thing that goes in a zigzag fashion, which is the only way that he'd be able to be holding that. And apparently he's focusing more on his money than anything else because his fucking jacket is in the cement. It's not easy to fucking get off when it dries, bro. But I'm pretty sure he knows that. Shawnee Mac, apparently trying to take away my fucking gimmick. Oh yeah, I know who she is. I know who that is. It's the Juggalo version of Build-A-Bear. But like, to me, like, I looked at this and I was like, right off the rip, this is the first problem that I saw, which was the goddamn Super Nintendo controller being upset. Who fucking plays Super Nintendo like that? Like, I've actually seen some people do some weird shit with like an NES Advantage, but not a regular fucking controller playing upside down. Look, that might make sense if you're left-handed, except I'm left-handed and I play it normal. But I do respect the fucking, I do respect the little collection here though. And what's that old saying? Imitation is flattery. Boom. And he looks like such a child. And that's kind of funny. Bat Dick. Bat Dick was represented. And you know it's Bat Dick. Because look, it's Bat Dick. The only thing that it's not showing is the big dildo. Like, that's the only thing that it's not showing. But I thought it was cool though that, he was represented. Some other people that Deck One Dealt did not fucking do. I'm glad to see that Hashley ended up putting up on there for representation. So Mikey Fist, aka Bat Dick. And for some reason he's drinking his weed. He's drinking his weed. Now don't say anything negative about Bat Dick. Bat Dick is actually like, he's a gathering staple. Unfortunately, from what I understand, he hasn't been gathering recently, but I think that's just due to health issues. Mama, which this is actually pretty fucking dope. Just some hippie chick in a lightning storm surrounded by butterflies at Ferris wheel. So I'm assuming it's at the gathering of the Mudlows because it was fucking congratulations, Batman, now you're gay. I don't remember where that reference came from though. It sounds familiar though. I'm not gonna lie. Karen Henry from Wicked Dreams Creations. Okay. So, like, I do believe that these are some people, obviously they fucking gather. I think I saw these people with a booth in Massachusetts when I went to DCG Con. So they did have a booth. They do have some pretty dope art, and I think it's cool that they're represented as well. Doesn't look, dude, they look like Raggedy Ann dolls more than they do Garbage Pail Kids. Like, just look at the dead open eyes on their characters. They look more like Raggedy Ann and Andy than Garbage Pail Kids. Shotgun Freddy. I'm wondering where he gets the name from. If he's like from shotgunning beers, or because he owns a shotgun, or he got married in a shotgun wedding, or what the fuck. Like, I'm curious to know. But once again, Gathering of the Juggalos pick background. But this dude's fucking rapping, so I'm assuming it's Renegade stage type shit right here. Not hating on that, but I'm just basically commentating on what I'm seeing. It's mostly what I do. I don't know how to pronounce that. Shug? Sug? I'm assuming it's Shug. But it's cool. At least we got like a gothy vampire chick with nice hair. Once again, Gathering of the Juggalos. Fago. No weed. I'm surprised at that. I mean, yeah, she's... Okay, maybe not at the Gathering of the Juggalos, but definitely Dark Carnival. What the fuck is up with this roller coaster right here? This is the Tempest roller coaster at the very end where it just... Ah! Okay, more Hashley. Yeah, she's modeling. Not bad looking. Is this it? You got more? Is there more shit? Like, I don't know why, but I think, yeah, that was the last one. Those were the last ones that were up on there. So it just like rolled back to the top. So there was that. Now, so like if you like, so now we have two people that are doing these things. You've got Hashley doing her thing, and you've also got Deck One Dealt now also doing their thing. But they're the ones who started it. They're the ones who started the Garbage Pail Kid project. Hashley added on to that, so now we have two motherfucking people that actually are down to fucking do this shit. Bat Dick got outed on some SA charges. I believe that's why he doesn't gather anymore. Oh yeah, sure. I like that would I don't want to say that would make sense, but like it kind of goes down the same route as the shit that happened with that Toad guy. Oh, and by the way, before we get into other shit, I just want to say if you notice the fucking pinned comment in the chat, I just want to point that out that what this is it's a Chrome extension. A friend of mine on TikTok actually found out about it, so this is what it is. So like when you download the extension, it'll actually put like once you click it, after you download it, if you enable this, it'll show like all of your Twitch, all the people that you follow on Twitch, and you can if you can star it, and it will allow you what it'll do is it'll make it so any of the ones that you star will what it'll do is like once you re-enable it, it will open up their it'll open up a new tab and mute the tab itself so you can lurk. So as you can see, Melvin Troy is doing his thing on Twitch, but I also found out that with that tab, not only can you do this type of stuff with Twitch, but you can also do that stuff. Let me see if I can find it. You can also do that stuff with YouTube and Kick. So not only can you use this as a Chrome extension, but you can also use it on Brave if you use that as well. I actually used that on Brave. I actually moved it over to Brave. So on Brave, it's actually opening up channels for all the other people that are doing the damn thing. And yep, I don't know if that was seen or not. But yeah, so like I have a bunch of them that are open up for other people that I know. So, yep. We got Captain Juggalo, Retro Gaming Live, Moronic, Mick Moronic, Melvin Troy, DJ Clay, and it'll just keep you lurking in the background because we found out that if you mute the stream as opposed to muting the tab, then it doesn't count as you as a viewer. So it'll automatically do all of that with anybody that you highlight as your favorites. And that'll actually keep it so that way their view count goes up. Found that out. And that means more advertising revenue for the person that you're watching. So you want to help out some people? Definitely do it like that. All right, so let's talk about some of the next few things that we're going into the news about. This is an actual reminder that next month, ICP is going to be at Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival. And so, like, this is, so that's going to be in Manchester, Tennessee. And, yeah, so if you're going to be up in that general area, even for a 1-day pass, just go ahead and take a look at their website, Bonnaroo.com. So these are all of the, these are all of the fucking people that are going to be there. Thursday, they're going to, is when they're going to have Insane Clown Posse. But it just seems to me like a vast majority of the people that they have on here are people that I don't personally know, but I do find it interesting. I do find it very interesting that they have Insane Clown Posse on the same day as Luke Combs. So definitely fucking check that out if you want to. If you want, go to Bonnaroo.com. You can check out the prices there. I'm just basically saying this as a reminder because I said when the last time that I put that up that I was going to fucking remind everybody that this was being a thing. Oh yeah, and on Friday, Megadeth. So you definitely have 2 days that you need to go to. Avril Lavigne, yeah, that might be a reason to fucking go on Saturday, and Queens of the Stone Age might possibly be a reason to go on Sunday. Now, this is from the old shit. I haven't looked at any updates or anything like that. All I know or care about is the fact that Insane Clown Posse is going to be there on Thursday, and Megadeth is there on Friday. Fuck everyone else, for the most part. Even Nelly being there on Saturday. I don't care. But yeah, definitely check out that shit. And another reminder too, because this is also coming up. June 19th to the 22nd is Tom Woods Float in Mammoth Spring, Arkansas. Tickets are already on sale, so you can go ahead and check out the website if you want to do that. The website has the tickets and all that other shit. I mean, it's fucking Tom Wood. You guys saw how hard I was gushing over Tom Wood last fucking week. Not saying I was doing anything fucking gay, but it's Tom Wood. Tom Wood is a fucking man's man. And there was a video that I saw. I think I'm not sure what platform it was on, but it was a rush job. It was like a speed art thing of what he does to fucking update the Joker cards and shit to make them look more realistic and stuff. And it was actually he was actually working on Pug Ugly, which I thought was really cool. I think it might have been on Instagram. It might also be on TikTok. I'm not 100% sure. So those are the updates for that shit. Let's see. We got some other things that I wanted to talk about real quick. Isham has announced that he's coming out with a new album in 2 months to the day, another holiday. On Independence Day, he will be releasing The Golden Age. So I'm curious to see what that is. The Godfather of the Wicked shit usually doesn't disappoint. But I like literally all I did was I just saw what they posted on Fago Lovers. Like, this is the Fago Lovers I jacked this shit from them section of the show. So I didn't even read what it was said, but or even if there's a single, there might possibly be. Check your fucking usual shit to check what the fuck, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Golden Age, July 4th, 2025. Literally, it's Isham. That's all he really needs in order to fucking hype up that shit. And another album that's currently available now, Loki came out with an album, Release 4. Includes the digital download, and I'm sure that you can go to shadowlandshop.com in order for you to get a physical copy of this, or, like, I'm not a collector. You know, I'm not a collector on digital media of this sense, especially since now you can pay $9.99 a month to listen to whatever the fuck you want, which I indulge all the fucking time. So I have the capability to do this. Unfortunately, though, obviously it really opens up the door for anybody else in the indie scene that makes it that makes a fucking album. You know what I'm saying? So so there's that shit. Um but I know that low key still has fans and everything, which is interesting because like for the most part, for the longest time, I really didn't hear much about low key until like earlier last year. And then all of a sudden just like it kind of just like resurfaced out of nowhere. But then again, Shadowlands. So I guess that makes fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting on a fucking new release coming in from Q Strange. I'd like to see if that happens because we haven't seen hide nor hair of that motherfucker since Tunnel Runners. The last time I heard him bitching about something on the internet was like him accusing Tech Nine of taking his fucking Strange shtick. Another album that's been released now. I talked about this on a previous show. MMMFD came out with the album Horrorcore. I think I talked about that sometime last month. Well, it's out now, so I'm pretty sure that you can probably go to Gore Shop or something like that. Whatever website they have for for fucking Scum and Insane Poetry in them, and be able to buy a physical copy from them. But once again, I'm pretty sure it's also on digital. Let's see. The next thing is right here. So King 810 is coming out with a new album, Rust Belt New Metal. So this is a pre-order section. You know what? Just fucking go on Fago Lovers and find the link. I didn't look it up, but Rust Belt New Metal and King 810 is actually pretty fucking dope. I love the sound that they provide, but I'm not a huge fan of Windbreakers. So fuck that shit. But it's a pre-order. You basically get a windbreaker, a hat, a bandana, a CD, and an oil spill vinyl. The vinyl looks pretty fucking fresh though, if you ask me. Like take a look at that shit. That shit looks king. And then you got the flat brim hat. Okay, I can fuck with that. I like flat brim hats. And I'm starting to getting a little bit more accustomed to having snapback flat brims. For the longest time, I hated those. I always liked fucking fitted caps. And then you get the fucking bandana, a CD, a vinyl, and I'm pretty sure that there's other combinations of all of this other shit. But the only thing I just don't like is the windbreaker. I'm not a fan of windbreakers. It feels like I'm wearing a trash bag. You know what I'm saying? And another album that actually came out, and this I thought was kind of fucking weird that this was announced. So Kung Fu Vampire and Buckshot did a collab album called Big Trouble with Double Dragon. Now, this I find interesting because this is obviously like a parody cover of Big Trouble in Little China, which, by the way, last night as I was working on trying to soft mod my Sega Genesis Mini, I had the TV going on in the background, and I watched Street Fighter the movie for the first time, and then for the first time in a long time, I should say. Which, by the way, as an adult now, I have a little bit more appreciation for Street Fighter the movie as a movie rather than them trying to emulate the fucking video game. Not to mention Raul Julia and Jean Claude Van Damme being the two main players in that. Raul Julia alone. But after that was done and it played a commercial, Big Trouble in Little China ends up being the next movie that plays, which I have never seen before. I know that's probably a crime and it should be illegal, the fact that I did not watch Big Trouble in Little China ever. But then as I'm stealing fucking news from Fago Lovers, I see this and I'm like, isn't that ironic? But it's awesome though because it's Kung Fu Vampire, And that's practically the main reason why I'm promoting this and trying to sell it to y'all, because it's fucking Kung Fu Vampire. Yes, it's got buckshot in it, and I'm not the biggest fan of buckshot on a personal level. But hey, it's Kung Fu Vampire, it's Big Trouble in Little China, and it's Double fucking Dragon, which as a video game nerd, I have to fucking promote this. As a juggalo, I have to promote this because it's fucking Kung Fu Vampire. And as a fan of Kurt Russell, I have to promote this because it's lampooning Big Trouble in Little China. What up, 89? And to top that off, with more news about Kung Fu Vampire, he's actually got a mini tour coming out soon, within the next 7 days, as a matter of fact, with Action Paxton, Larry Coleman, and Blue and Aku. So it's a little mini tour on the fucking West Coast. So some of the places, like how I do when it concerns this shit. So we're starting off first and foremost, May 11th, Reno, Nevada at Cypress. May 13th in Grants Pass, Oregon at Our Studio. May 14th, Albany, Oregon at the 520 Event Center. Let's see, May 15th in Portland, Oregon at the White Eagle Saloon. May 16th in Seattle, Washington at the Funhouse. And then you've got this long stretch of fucking 2 weeks off. For what, I don't know. But Fresno, California on the 30th of May at the Full Circle Brewery. That's interesting. That's interesting that it's at a fucking microbrewery. But then again, Founders has a stage here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, so I guess that makes sense. May 31st at Vista, California at the Main Street Poorhouse, so another microbrewery. And then June 1st in Las Vegas, Nevada to close it out at 18 Bin. So if you live in those general areas or whatever, go hang out there. You'll be able to see KFV, which is dope. All right, so what's next? Here we go. Razakel has a thing. Never mind. All right, so this is the other thing. So I saw this on Fago Lovers, and I'm like, okay, look, I'm a huge fan of green Jello. Like, I love green Jello. The first, the serial killer soundtrack album was fucking dope, just in and of itself, because Serial Killer was like all music videos for all of the songs that Green Jello did, and it was on a VHS tape. And then the Serial Killer soundtrack fucking comes out, where the actual songs are on a CD, because not everybody's going to be able to watch all of the music. Like, people want to enjoy the Green Jello album without having to fucking stick it in a fucking VCR or waiting around until MTV played it at the time. So Serial Killer soundtrack fucking comes out, and it's fucking good. If you want the concept of comedy, comedy metal. But apparently, they somehow, after a long fucking time, the Serial Killer soundtrack finally made it back up to the top 10 comedy albums on the Billboard 200. Why it says it's new, like, I would assume that it says that it's new because it's never gotten up to the top 20 or anything like that, but somehow, in some way, the Serial Killer soundtrack made it back to the top 10. That's interesting to me. So, like, and as juggalos who gather and everything, I'm very sure that all y'all motherfuckers know that green Jello is a good gathering staple for shows. What's up, Crazy? Have you heard from CPN lately? Yes, I have. And it's not that I won't talk about it. It's just that I don't know what I can talk about. So I'm just gonna put that out there. I might as well go in the back here with this fucking comment. TNA is banning blood recently. I hate that shit. There goes wrestling. Blood is a part of the art of wrestling. I understand the danger with it, but WWE been doing it on a safe level. Watching CCW and deathmatch bullshit, not this soft PG bullshit. Well, there might be a reason for it because you got to understand that TNA is on television, so and also they're working on a distribution. They're working in a partnership deal with WWE. So in some way, shape, or form, whether it be the WWE, the channel, or the corporate sponsors, they have to fucking bow to the corporate master. And if they don't want their wrestlers gigging, then they can't gig. See what like that's just how it is. But like, I love the fact that Green Jello ended up doing this. Now, another album that they came out was 333, which was like, here's the thing that I like about the Green Jello is like on the albums, for the album covers are actually a booklet with a comic book in them that actually have incorporations of all of these characters. And then their second album, 333, was like a continuation of that shit. And on top of that, 333's opening song, Carnage Rules, is actually the opening song for Spider-Man Venom Maximum Carnage for the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, respectively. So Green Jello actually had a hand in the entire soundtrack for Spider-Man Venom Maximum Carnage for those two games, which, by the way, is an LJN game, and it's not bad. It's not shit. They made a not shitty game. LJN made a not shitty game. And part of it is because it's fucking Spider-Man, and I would have to also add the soundtrack being pretty fucking dope. It's got that comic book feel, and it's not shit. But has barely anything to do with Green Jello. Now, for some reason, also Green Jello came out with an album where they did a crossover with Hulk Hogan and the Boot Camp Band, which the last song on that is called Hulkamaniac, which is at the very end of Stranglemania 2 tie-in. And I don't know if they've come out with any other music since then, but still, nevertheless. And I have to say, like, my favorite fucking story, so like Sicko says he did an interview with him about a year ago. My favorite story concerning Green Jello still has to be when King Crimson tried to fuck him over and they basically threatened to kick the shit out of him. Because I think that's funny. Because he booked them to fucking open up and then he fucked them off with the money. So pretty sure that Bill Manspeaker wants to kick the shit out of King Crimson. All right, so let's go ahead and go on to the next topic of conversation because I'm done with talking about Green Jello. Congratulations to Green Jello. A winner is Bill Manspeaker for creeping back up the comedy route, which I think is fucking great. Bill Manspeaker definitely deserves some flowers because he's been in the game about as long as fucking Insane Clown Posse has. He asked you not to put that part in the interview? Man, that's fucking stupid. I would have been like, nah, dude, we need to fucking talk about it. King Crimson's a bitch. Like, he's a bitch-ass bitch and deserves to get his ass beat by Bill Manspeaker. I don't blame Bill Manspeaker for wanting to kick the fuck out of him. And I only know about it because it happened in my fucking hometown. Because King Crimson lives in Grand Rapids as well. And anytime that I've come across him in person, he acts like he doesn't know who the fuck I am. Although he did try to act like he tried to act like he didn't know who the fuck I was when he got popular and shit. Be like, I don't know why this crazy McCormick guy is talking all this bad stuff about me. Bro, I live in the same fucking city as King Crimson. I've heard all the shit. I know everybody who hates him, who he's worked with and fucked over. And that includes it's including but not limited to Green Jello, ABK, and everybody that works with Mosh Pit Nation. Okay? Almost everybody in the music business he is fucked over. Or was about to, but wasn't able to fucking get that shit. I don't give a fuck about King Crimson or his interview. Like, not against you, but I don't give a fuck about his interview with you. I really don't. Like I said, it's nothing against you, but fuck King Crimson. I hope that he fucking continues floundering in his little tranny ass fucking world, which by the way is interesting because after that fucking Dr. Phil interview, he ended up fucking saying some shit about how like him and his wife came up with the idea of what they wanted to say in order to be on the fucking show. And guess what happened? Life imitated art. His wife actually fucking left him. I thought that was hilarious. But moving right along, let's move. Yeah, King Crimson is fucking cancer. All right, he is cancerous AIDS. He is snake AIDS. King Crimson is Snades. All right, fucking say that in the chat. Snake AIDS. All right, let's move on to the next fucking thing. All right, so non-juggler related nonsense. I've been talking shit about fucking Nintendo and how like their price rages and stuff like that. Which yeah, earlier like who the fuck was it? Shelby GT 500 ended up saying something in the fucking in the comment section about how getting a cell phone is, like I guess it's like the price for that, being the best of the best cell phone, the Samsung Galaxy S25 or something like that is like $1,500. There's a difference in the supercomputer that is your cell phone in your pocket and a video game system being sold for $150 more than the previous system when you have no reason to fucking raise the price on that whatsoever. The tariffs have nothing to do with it. And then the warrant, and then increasing the price and value of video games to $80-$90, right? It was already bad enough that for the PS5 and for the PS5, for the Nintendo Switch, and for the Xbox Series X, all of those video game systems already upped the price from $60 to $70, and now the next upcoming system, the Switch 2, is now increasing their value of $80, $90 if you want it physical. This is retarded. And I said this for the last 2 fucking episodes. But now, Xbox, being the dumb fucks that they are now continuing to do the same shit. Why must you be so goddamn stupid? And here's a guy explaining the shit.
Microsoft just did Nintendo a huge favor as they're raising prices across the board for.
Now this is funny. Take a look. Like I don't really give too much of a fuck what this guy has to say right now. I'm just happy the fact that right out the gate he put out how much these systems are changed. Look at this shit. Okay, first off, you've got like here are the list of all of the systems that they have, and then you have all of the additional peripherals. And let's go down the fucking line. All right, there's like old price versus new price. The Series S at a 512 gig internal memory card from $299.99 now increasing to $379.99. What is the percentage? I'm looking this up. To $379.99. Yep. Xbox consoles are primarily manufactured in China, which faces 145% US tariffs on numerous products under Trump's administration. In the United States, the entry-level Xbox Series S will jump from $299.99 to $379.99, a 27% increase. Who gives a shit? You already fucking put down what the prices were. You're not supposed to go up in value. You're supposed to go down in value. And then you've got the Xbox Series S 1 terabyte, which goes from $349 to $429.99. Xbox Series X digital, which means that it doesn't have a disk drive, goes from $449.99, which by the way is useless if you are a physical collector like myself, to $549.99. But then you've got the Xbox Series X 2 terabyte Galaxy Black that goes from $599.99 to $729.99. What the fuck? That's $130 increase. Fuck this shit. Xbox Series X went from $499.99 to $599.99. And you know what the most dumb fucking retarded ass shit about this is? Everybody's blaming Trump and basically saying that this is one of those things where it's like, okay, and I actually saw somebody on TikTok explain this. Everybody that's complaining about fucking tariffs, I might as well say this. Everybody that's complaining about fucking tariffs, as of right now, they're like, they act like that the way that tariffs work are meant to fucking punish us, you know? So like Trump increasing the tariffs to China, being up now to 145%, is apparently punishing us. Okay? But what they are neglecting to realize is that every single sovereign nation in this country that uses trade has tariffs on their goods, right? So using that logic of saying that Trump is punishing the American people by adding tariffs to all these other countries, what about all the other countries that tariff each other or tariff us? Are they punishing their fucking people? You know, or is it just because it's fucking Donald Trump? I think personally, because I personally think that it's Donald Trump, because no real fucking American really has any know-how whatsoever about tariffs until Donald Trump started fucking talking about it. And during that time, did we ever see an increase on an existing, an increase in price on an existing system in the history of our lives in the last 20, 30, 40 fucking years prior to Trump starting his fucking second term as president in these United States in the year of our Lord 2025? All right. Anytime prior to that in your life, did we ever see video game console prices increase during an existing run? No. If anything, we already know. Hold on a second. I'm actually going to have to fucking download something because I totally forgot. There was another video that I was going to download that might explain some shit. And especially when it concerns the Nintendo Switch. Okay, so bear with me here. But I think I'm making a pretty good point here. Never in the history of my life have I ever come across a fucking time where an existing video game system increased its brand new price drop. Ever. This is the first time that I have ever seen something like this. Yes, I can understand the Nintendo Switch 2 being an increase in price, but they fucking put that price down before the fucking tariffs kicked in. They had already put the stamp down on how much a Nintendo Switch 2 was going to be. As opposed to this being the case with Xbox 360 doing dumb fuckery shit and trying to increase the price on its already existing fucking system. Why? Why would you do this? Why would you kick yourself in the fucking dick? Sorry, not sorry, but a lot of the stuff that comes in from this, like, you already have systems. So, you know what? Anybody that has anybody that has interest in getting a fucking Xbox, go find a local disc replay or used video game store that you can. They're not going to increase the price. All right. The prices on old stuff goes up and down depending on demand. So if you are smart enough and quick enough to earn the money to get an Xbox Series S or an Xbox Series X, I would highly recommend it. To get it as soon as you can, but don't buy it new because fuck Microsoft. All right? Don't buy anything fucking new. Don't buy anything new, and this is coming from a guy who collects retro gaming stuff. There's a bunch of games there are over 3,000 physical games that are out for the fucking Nintendo Switch 1, and a bunch of those that are from Nintendo themselves, I will not buy until they're at least $40 or less. That includes the big ones, like fucking Super Smash Brothers and Mario Kart and Legend of Zelda and Super Mario RPG Collection, whatever the fuck. But like all of these prices, just absolutely fucking insane. Some of them stay the same because like the stereo headset right here probably doesn't have parts that are coming in from China. But the wireless headset, obviously, that's got chips that come in from China. So they're basically, like, it's not Trump that is fucking punishing the American people in this consideration. It is Xbox that is actually fucking over the American people. These changes in prices, 20% increase, 30% increase, whatever the fuck. A bunch of these price changes that are increasing the price on new systems is Xbox saying, well, if we eat the cost, then that means that that's less money that comes into our pockets that we can use to fucking buy escorts and blow and whatever the fuck. How am I supposed to be able to afford this fucking this 100-yard yacht? Okay, that I can flaunt in front of everybody and be like, look at me, I'm an executive at fucking Xbox. So now let's listen to what this Dingleberry has to say. I'm pretty sure I'm agreeing with everything that this dude says because this is just absolute bullshit.
Hardware and games, with hardware being effective immediately. Now, Microsoft is essentially attributing this to the Trump tariffs in everything but name. And
yeah, but that's not the reason why. The reason why is because their bottom line is being affected because of the tariffs. God forbid that they don't be able to give themselves $100,000 bonus at the end of the year.
We'll read their statement in a few moments here, but let's take a look at some of these prices first for the hardware, or starting off with the hardware. As we can see, hardware prices are going up for the systems themselves, anywhere from $80 to $100, if not even more in at least one case. So look at this, a Series S, the 512GB version, going up from $300 to $380, so an $80 increase. Same thing for the Series S 1TB, going from $350 to $430. Then we have the Xbox Series X digital going from $450 to $550, so a $100 price increase. Similarly for the actual Xbox Series X, yes, the actual one being the physical one, going from $500 to $600. But then check this out, again, that was a $100 price increase. We have the Xbox Series X 2TB Galaxy Black going from $600 to $730, a $130 increase in the US. This is getting freaking wild.
Yeah, and dude, like I said before, Xbox can go fuck themselves. All right, I'm sitting here in my basement laughing in retro. All right. Hello, Xbox? You might want to fucking think about what you're doing here, because there are people out there that during COVID ended up flooding all of the used video game stores and bought Sega Genesises and Super Nintendos. I mean, during that time, I ended up buying a fucking Sega Saturn and a Sega Dreamcast, and I also found a regular Xbox and a whole bunch of fucking games that I ended up including into my collection over the vast majority of my life. All right, so yeah, you can go ahead and increase the price. I'm just gonna buy one at a used video game store. That's gonna be less than your old price already as it is, including all of your video games. And just to be an added effect, I'll even buy fucking used video games for your Xbox Series X that have printout versions of your fucking color covers, just to say fuck you. Okay, I'll be doing that in effigy. In the meantime, I guess I can also play my Atari 2600, my Atari 5200, my regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, GameCube, Wii U, the Switch, the regular Xbox, the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, the PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, my ColecoVision. I don't need your fucking Xbox console. You can go fuck yourself. That's how it fucking rolls, son. What?
Do we have accessory increases such as the limited edition Xbox Wireless controller going up $10 from
I even
$80 to
slammed
$90?
the Atari
We
phone.
have the Xbox Wireless Headset Series 2 going from $180 to $200, again the $20 increase, and the Xbox Wireless Headset going up by...
You know, as a matter of fact, just to say as an additional fuck you to Xbox for raising the price on the Series X, I'll buy a Ouya. Okay? That'll come later in a few minutes.
by $10 from $109 to $119. So these are some steep changes, and these are steeper than the accessory price increases we saw mostly for Nintendo. And
Yeah, exactly. We can't let the overlords win, boys. Let's go, boys. Let's all go out and buy Atari 7800s.
then, of course, Nintendo didn't even increase their hardware price, beyond what they had initially announced after the full tariffs came into view.
It has nothing to do with the tariffs. They just don't want to eat the cost, so they're using the tariffs as an excuse.
So this is really interesting to see Microsoft doing this. And again, these prices are effective immediately.
I want to know who were the fucking ad wizards who came up with this one. Like, whoever thought that this was going to be an ingenious idea, like, do they really think that gamers are that fucking stupid? I mean, I did buy a $2,000 video game, but that was made in 1991. And interestingly enough, like I said, for like the last 2 episodes of this show, like I have been bitching about the price increase from the Switch to the Switch 2, and surprisingly, like people are worried about whether or not the the tariffs are going to be increasing the prices on these things, which the tariffs have nothing to do with the price on the Nintendo Switch 2 or the tea in China. Okay, maybe it does, and maybe it does have something to do with the price of tea in China, but at the same, like on the same breath that I fucking complained about the prices of the Switch 2, I used the same amount of money to buy myself a fucking JVC XI. But that was made in 1993. There's a difference. That's a collecting item, as opposed to the Nintendo Switch 2, which is brand new. That's not a collector's thing. Unless they put Pokemon on the front of it, then it's a collector item.
Furthermore, though, which again is good news for Nintendo in that they're not alone on this front now, is they are raising game prices too. Now, luckily it's not immediate, so if there's any games you want out there...
Literally, I hope to God that PlayStation decides not to fucking bray it up with these idiots over at Microsoft and over at Nintendo, because PlayStation, they understood the assignment. Back in 1995, when they came out with the first PlayStation 1, how much were GameCubes at the release? They were $249.99. Okay, so a Nintendo GameCube at launch was priced at $250. Okay, and then at E3 when they no, actually, I would say hold on a second. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna open up. Let's see. Let's open up Google here. You're going on this adventure with me, okay? Okay, so we're gonna increase this so that way you guys can see what I'm doing. PS1 release date. Okay, so December 3rd, 1994. That came out in Japan. It was released on September 9th in 1995. During that time, I'm not sure if, let's see, I think it was the Nintendo 64. Okay, so okay, yep. So they had already planned on the Nintendo being released in 1996, and then in Japan, in 1995, a year prior to that. Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, Nintendo 64 was having some issues with sales, right? So like they were having an issue with the hardware on the Nintendo 64, so they had to fucking hold on to it. So let's see, I can close that out. Anyways, yeah. So the Nintendo 64 was priced at release. Okay, it said it was at 199, but I think the Super Nintendo. Okay, let's see, Super Nintendo redesigned version. Yeah, for 199 as well. But I believe that there was some other system that fucking came out. Oh yeah, that's right. They were competing. Okay, yeah, they were competing with Sega Saturn at the time. So the yeah. So yeah, like because the Sega Saturn at the time was like $400, and then PlayStation ended up fucking releasing their shit at $299. I think there was like let's see, PS1 announcement at at E3. Yeah, so like literally all they did at E3, like this was like when PlayStation 1 came out, it was the biggest E3 announcement of all time. Like literally at the time the Sega Saturn came out, they were boasting at a price tag of $399. And then Sony Computer Entertainment of America president Steve Race walked on stage to announce that the Sony PlayStation would cost $299. Like literally, he walked like they had this whole fucking thing about the PS1. They had the big flash and fanfare and everything. And then Steve Race fucking comes up to the podium, and all he does is he just leans over to the mic and he says $299, and the whole fucking place just blew the fuck up. That's all he said. Because like Sony and so like Sony for the PlayStation, they did their fucking thing after Sega Saturn did, and it was just like a big fuck you to Sega. Because Sega was already dead in the water at this point because of the 32X already being overpriced, and then the Sega Saturn being overpriced at $400. And so they say, "Fuck you. We're doing it for $100 cheaper." They knew what they were doing. This is the whole point that I was trying to make. They knew what they were doing when it concerned eating the price. Okay, so I'm pretty fucking sure that like when the PlayStation 6 comes out, or even now to this day, if Sony is betting on fucking black, what I would say is that what they need to do is not change their prices on any fucking thing, because their only other competitors are already pissing off their audiences. Xbox just said fuck you to the American people, trying to say that the price increase is due to tariffs when that's just a fucking patsy. Nintendo has already pissed off their core audience because not only are they doing the high price, but they also initiated this bullshit with having $80 digital games and $90 physical games, which are basically a key to download the fucking digital game. The only difference is that in order to play the fucking digital game, you have to put a fucking card in the fucking thing. So if PlayStation does nothing, absolutely nothing, they don't change the prices on any of their shit. They've already pissed me off with the fucking PlayStation Pro being just straight digital and you have to get the fucking disc drive separate. They've already pissed me off with that. I'll wait until that used boy fucking comes out with the already purchased fucking physical copy in order for me to play 8K games that I don't need to play because my TV barely even fucking does 4K to begin with. But nevertheless, though, if PlayStation wants to make a good bet, Sony better not change any of the values whatsoever. Don't braid up with the rest of them. Keep it below. Be smart. Keeping in mind that PlayStation was the same company that was like, oh, Nintendo told you to fuck off with your game. Fuck it, come over here. They aren't allowing you to put your games on Nintendo 64 because of like blood and gore and all this other stuff. Fuck it, come to us. That's the reason why fucking Oddworld became a very popular game. It went from being an indie game to a very popular fucking franchise. All right. PlayStation is solely responsible for a lot of third-party companies to have big fucking names because they took a bet and won. All right, they allowed everybody to fucking come in. That's why they have almost 19,000 fucking games on the PlayStation 1 alone. That's why they have over 2,000 games on fucking PlayStation 2. They kept on doing indie shit and people kept on fucking winning. They would take anybody as long as it was still rated M for mature and not AO. Fucking Nintendo did the same, did similar shit with the Switch. They have over 3,000 fucking games available for the Nintendo Switch, bro. And now they're just basically saying fuck you to us by increasing the price in video games. Nintendo can suck a fuck. And now Xbox can also fucking do the same thing. Xbox can suck a fucking fart out of a dog before and I still won't fucking buy an Xbox Series X brand fucking new. I'll wait until the fucking price goes down. Fuck it. So PlayStation, be the smart guy. Don't increase your shit. And then turn around and blame it on fucking tariffs.
You may want to pick them up soon, but they are raising game prices to $80 for some key titles. No, I don't believe they've given an official list of games that are going up to $80 this holiday season, but IGN
holiday season? What?
Speculated that some of those games will include Call of Duty, the new Fable, the Perfect Dark reboot, Clockwork Revolution, Rare Everwild, the Coalition's Gears of War, the Hideo Kojima's OD, and Undead Labs State of Decay 3. So those are
nice.
Just, again, some of the theoretical games that could be getting a price increase from Xbox, according to IGN.
Now this makes me wonder, is that just the digital releases, or are the physical releases going to be the same price, or are they going to fucking go up to $90 like the other shit?
But we do know that that price increase is happening, we just don't know exactly what games. Furthermore, the statement that Microsoft gave to IGN was, "We understand that these changes are challenging, and they were made with careful consideration given market conditions and the rising cost of development."
Bullshit. Excuses, excuses, excuses.
Looking ahead, we continue to focus on offering more ways to play more games across any screen and ensuring value for Xbox players.
So don't increase the fucking price. Alright? Don't be like Nintendo. Do the smart thing and don't increase shit. Okay? Like, look, the longer that a system exists since launch date, the prices of these motherfucking things should go down and not go up. You're doing it backwards, all right? You're acting like that we are so fucking naive to the possibility that these were the set prices to fucking begin with. Fuck your excuses, keep it on lock, and don't fucking back down. I mean, as of right now, Nintendo really has no choice because they haven't even launched the Switch 2, and they've already set the price value before the tariff shit kicked in. They didn't even take that price range into consideration. And if they want to be smart, they'll keep it where they are at right now, so that way they don't further piss off anybody else that's in the gaming industry. Dude, that's exactly what Dragon Slayer, that's exactly what this dude's fucking explaining. Xbox is following Nintendo in the footsteps of raising the prices of everything, including video game titles, and now their hardware. Like, not only did they fucking put the mushroom cap in the butthole, but they also just shoved the entire shaft into it as well by increasing the price of video game systems, brand new, up another 27 fucking percent in value.
So that statement, applies to both the hardware and the games. It seems like half and half, essentially, in this case.
Now, according to what I'm seeing on here, this is the first time we've seen a price hike on Xbox Series S consoles since it launched in 2020, with the company committing to maintaining existing prices back in 2022 when PlayStation raised prices on the PS5. Oh, they did that shit too? Oh, okay. I think that was because of it going into the PS Pro digital shits. However, Xbox raised the price on the Xbox Series X in 2023 in most countries, but not the US. And it has raised prices globally on the Xbox Game Pass multiple times. Yeah, fuck the Game Pass. I mean, like PlayStation, I'm already pissed off at them for increasing the price on PlayStation Plus. Like these guys, dude, eventually they're already fucking filling the bubble. Right? The bubble is starting to fucking grow. And the more that these companies continue to do this, look, there is more back catalog on old systems now than there are in new games. Do you realize there's at least 25,000 games for all the other existing systems that are out there right now? Granted, they're not making any more game titles, but I'm starting to think that maybe we're about to have another fucking market crash. Like, I think we're due for another fucking market crash. It's been 40 years since the last video game crash. The first one happening in 1983, which Nintendo saved it, and now Nintendo is causing it to happen, to have another fucking video game crash. You know what we need? We need a fucking hero. A hero with a blue fucking hedgehog as their staple. Sega, you know what to do. The fourth house needs to fucking open up its doors again and let us all in. Even if it's with a fucking system, even if, like that should be the saving grace here. Sega needs to come out with a new system where you have the capability of having a monthly Sega channel kind of fucking thing. Like, think about this, okay? Sega coming out with a brand new fucking system. They put Sega channel back on it. And it opens up the capability to have all of the Sega video games that have existed in the fucking past and any new games that they come out that are going to be part of the third party. Atari has been back and forth. Like the last time that Atari did something, it was with the VCS, with the fucking wireless VCS, which in theory was a good idea because they did the same fucking thing that I was just explaining that Sega needs to do. Where they ended up coming out with a system that was going to be able to have digital downloaded versions of all of their games from the Atari 2600, the 5200, the 7800, the Lynx, and the fucking Jaguar, plus all of the third-party games that they have made since then. And in addition to that, possibility of having new games, and everything was going to be wireless and Wi-Fi compatible. You'd be able to play other players online for like games like Combat and shit like that. Like they were really serious about doing this type of shit. But then time just kept on going, squeaking by, and people just kind of forgot about it. But yeah, Vampiric Clown, I agree with you. Like the rumors of Atari making a new system, that would be dope. And Sega needs to come back too. Like I think honestly, it's about time that these two companies came out. Make these fucking systems. You could probably drop it out for like $2.99, $3.99, especially in this fucking economy. Like hell, $1.99 for a system that is solely dedicated to downloading these games or even playing them on cloud. Because the vast majority of the money that they'll be getting for that shit would be through a monthly pass where you get to have everything. Everything for Sega, from the from the the SZ-1000, the Sega Master System, the Sega Genesis, the Sega CD, the 32X, the Sega Saturn, the fucking Dreamcast, and all of the other third-party games that they've come out with since Sega fucking owns them, so they can do whatever they want with it. So I think that that's what they need to do, and keep it at a moderate price. You could probably do this type of shit for $49.99. Could you imagine how many fucking people would be willing to fucking do this for $49.99 a year, to have all of that fucking money come in, all of that fucking revenue? Like that's the problem that I see with fucking PlayStation and Xbox Game Pass, is that it's too high in price. Why would anybody really want to pay $169.99 a year just to stream just to stream the games off the cloud? I like, me personally, like, I prefer to have my shit physical, but I can see that stream gaming and stuff like that, and just having a fucking save feature on the console itself, and just having that be like the save point, like, that's really all that's necessary.
And it really does. I mean, part of me is wondering, did Nintendo open the floodgates here with this $80 price increase for their games, at least for Mario Kart, and
I agree.
presumably more in the future?
I wonder that myself.
Or did they just happen to be the first to get to that point, and now Microsoft is hopping aboard too?
I mean, dude, they knew that doing this was going to cause one or both of the existing companies to fucking, jump ship and do the same fucking thing. But it sucks that, like, is this how it's going to be for every fucking video game console that comes out from henceforth? Like, the next generation is going to increase the fucking price of the video games every 7 years. It's going to go up $10 per video game. Eventually it's going to get to a point where, like, you buy the system for X amount of dollars, and then it's like the same price for each video game. Who's going to want to fucking buy this shit? Like I said, it's the same thing as the 1983 video game market crash. And and it's ironic that Nintendo saved the video game industry from that happening to fucking being the cause of the possibility of it happening again. Perhaps Atari needs to come out with a new system and release ET 2.0 to burst the bubble again. No, fam. Look, I have ET. And to be totally honest, like, ET really didn't have much to do with the video game crash in 1983. That actually had to do with the fact that there were 12 concurrent systems at the time. Exclusivity rights were were through the fucking roof. Homebrew games and clones were fucking insane. And like, exclusivity deals was basically one of the biggest problems, because, like, nobody wanted to get an anybody who had an Atari didn't want to get an Intellivision because of an exclusive game, so instead, like, the company would actually come up with a way to make it so they could play third-party games on their systems. And the same thing for fucking, like, if there was Pac-Man being exclusively on the fucking 2600, nobody with a Coleco or an Intellivision or a Magnavox Odyssey 2 would want to buy an Atari just so that way they could fucking play Pac-Man. That's why Coleco ended up coming up with an expansion module so you could play Atari games on that bitch. They also came out with the Coleco Gemini, which was a absolute fucking clone of Atari, and Atari sued them for it, but that's beside the point. It really didn't have anything to do with ET. It just happened that ET was going on at the time that this shit went down. But Nintendo brought it back because Nintendo was thriving with the Famicom, with the family computer system in Japan, so they didn't even know about the fucking video game market crash in America. And so when they tried to fucking sell the Nintendo to America, America was like, nah, it's just a passing phase. Nobody plays video games at home anymore, or video games at all, which is a bullshit lie, because arcades were still flooded. To that day, arcades were still fucking flooded. But nevertheless, you know, it didn't stop them from doing it, and they saved the video game industry in America. And now, 41 years later, they're announcing shit that could actually cause that fucking video game market to crash again. Because very few, you know, like the more that they increase the prices on this shit, the less people are going to want to fucking buy the new stuff. Like, I have barely any fucking games for, I have like 3 or 4 games for the Nintendo Switch. All right. I bought my Nintendo Switch used on top of that. And I only, and every game that I own practically fucking used. Whoop whoop spamily. What up, Anthony? So, like, as far as I see it, like, Nintendo fucked up. Xbox fucked up even more. PlayStation, I pray to God that you keep the shit the same or even drop the prices on stuff just to say fuck you to those people, you know, to those companies. And Sega and Atari, I think y'all know what to fucking do.
In any case, it is good news for Nintendo because now
No, it's not.
people are going to really reconsider why even buy an Xbox now if they can get a Switch too, which is at the least, it seems to be on par with the Series S.
Dude, the Series S is gonna like you can get it for less value. I doubt that the used video game systems are gonna change in price, and because like they can't fucking blame the tariffs. Those systems already exist. Those have already been purchased. So buy a used one, and then you got a month and a half now to save up more money to get the fucking Switch 2, or do it in reverse. I don't care. You can still come up with a way on how to get these things. Like Xbox, I'm not even fucking apologizing. I will buy an Xbox Series S used. I will buy every video game that they come out with used, because most of the used games that come out, well, they drop in value after 6 months. 6 months to a year, values of video games usually go down because everybody who plays video games has fucking squirrel brain. When a new game comes out, everybody's just like, and then they fucking plink out their fucking money. But you know, most gamers are relatively fucking retarded. Okay, like especially with their fucking money. Me, on the other hand, like I'm only retarded in certain fucking aspects. But for newer games, for newer systems, I'd rather just buy the games because I bought Squirrel with a Gun brand new for $20. You know, and a good chunk of a lot of the newer games for the PS5 that have come out, I've barely bought anything brand fucking new. But yeah, so nevertheless, yeah, I guess I could say that these people are retarded. And by the way, this next video that I'm going to show you is exactly why I don't buy any fucking thing new. Let's just keep this in mind, okay? This came out during the time that the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Wii U were prominent. So this came out before, just as all of these systems launched. And I love the fact that this parody exists.
Wow, there's so many new video game consoles coming out. I'm gonna save up my allowance and buy them all.
You might want to think twice about that.
Listen to the Game Boy. And I love that this totally parodies Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just a Game Boy.
You know, back in the 90s when you bought a new system, it was basically ready to go.
Very true. Very true. Because, like, there's no such thing as a firmware update for a Super Nintendo. The stuff that came in the Super Nintendo was fucking as is. Alright, but they found out that what they could do instead of putting chips in the system, they could put the chips on the fucking cart. Okay, that's why, like, you know, there was, like, you know, when you play Star Fox, like, everything has, like, the wire effect. Mega Man X2 and X3 have rarer chips that made the game more powerful, so that way you could actually fucking play something really fucking good. Like, a lot of the games have, like, specialty chips inside them, inside the cartridges on the cartridge board rather than on the motherboard for the fucking for the Super Nintendo.
But those days are gone by, so buddy, don't be that guy. You wanna be the first in line, but I say no, 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 no. They won't have near enough games, no matter how great they seem.
Yeah, look at that. 2 months go by and 5 major games come out. And then
It takes at least a year or two before they're running full steam. Yes, it's a
above and beyond Ghost Dad. All right, so like here, I'll start off with this. Genesis does what Nintendo don't. 3D graphics and Wolfenstein. So this is like the old school. Like this is like back in the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis days. I love the fact that they fucking threw that on.
bought a new system, it was basically ready to go.
And that's all you needed.
But those days are gone by, so buddy, don't be that guy. You wanna be the first in line, but I say no, 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 no. They won't have near enough games, no matter how great they seem. It takes at least a year or two before they're running full steam. Yes, it's a dirty little trick, so you gotta be staunch, kid. Don't ever buy a console at launch.
That's very true. This is why you never fucking buy a console on the day of. Like, remember what I was talking about in the last episode of the Crazy House, where that one dude, big name YouTuber, and he's bitching up a fucking storm about how he's not going to be able to fucking figure out how to get a pre-order. Yeah, don't buy the Switch 2 at launch. Like, dude, like every single one of my systems, I bought either used or brand new a year and a half later. Like even my PlayStation 5, even like when my PlayStation 3, like when it was like the 80 gig boy, right? The last one that was backward compatible, and I got the very last one at Circuit City before Circuit City went out of fucking business. And I bought it for $100 or $150 less than what it was at the day of launch. So anybody that wants to fucking buy a console on launch day, you're an idiot.
I'm being serious, do not ever buy a console at launch.
But the video game companies promise all these great games and features within the first year.
Sure, just like presidential candidates. They'll say anything to get your vote. The way game companies just want you to buy their console.
Like, that's very true. Like, and that's funny that it actually, they fucking compare it to fucking presidential runs and shit. Yeah, they'll say whatever they want, you know, they'll say whatever they can. They'll be like, this is the greatest and best fucking thing to date. And what ends up happening for the, you know, for like the next 7 years or so, they just provide dog shit. And very few companies actually put effort into their video games. And especially, like, take a look at the video games that come out now. First day patches, because, like, and then sometimes Cyberpunk as a prime example, sometimes those fucking patches aren't even fucking working. Like, they patched a game that was already broken with a fucking patch that kept the game fucking broken. The same thing with WWE 2K20. You know, like, those are two prime examples of a game that came out even broken after they fucking had the first day patch. And the games that come out nowadays that have a first day patch, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you fucking putting out a game that is half done? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm so grateful the fact that Square Enix fucking came out with Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. Like they held off on it to perfect the fucking thing. Then they started actually finding more bugs after they perfected it and fixed the shit. Okay, so here we go.
If you want a new Wii U,
More like PU.
PS4,
Oh, give me more.
Xbox One,
Xbox done.
Ouya,
What?
I don't know if you guys remember, I ended up mentioning that I would rather get an Ouya before I get a brand new Xbox Series S 2 terabyte. Yeah, Ouya. What? So for the uninitiated, what an Ouya was actually supposed to be a console that was Android and Linux run, where you could download the games that were on like the Google Play Store or something like that, and you'd be able to play those games on your console, like on your TV through a console. It didn't work out so well.
Game companies just want you to buy their console.
Didn't you want a new Wii U?
More like PU.
PS4?
Oh, give me more.
Xbox One?
Xbox done.
Ouya?
What? The OS will be a mess, so you got...
Yep, there you go. That's another one. LOL system error. I am so broken. Go buy another one. Yeah, the red ring of death. And that was the main reason why I decided that I was no longer ever going to buy a fucking brand new system at launch. For reasons like that. And GTA 6, yeah, it got pushed back. It's going to come out next year. But you know what? The way I look at it, it's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that they push it back a year and they're not fucking bowing down and buckling under the pressure of releasing a fucking game ill prepared, like what Cyberpunk fucking did. Cyberpunk was being worked on for fucking years, and then they were practically bullied into releasing it. And then everybody was like, yay, it's finally getting released. They fucking get the game. The game is broken as shit. And then the people who were like, yay, it's finally getting released after years of bullying the company to release Cyberpunk on the consoles, then they bitch about the damn thing being broken. So I don't care how long it's going to take for them to release GTA 6. As long as it doesn't come out fucking broken, I think we're good.
Gotta be staunch, kid. Don't ever buy a console at launch. Now sing it with me. Do not ever buy a console at launch. That's right. And even if they release a picture perfect device, you know that 6 to 12 months later they'll be dropping the price.
Another prime example as to why you don't want to get a fucking video game system at launch. And then on top of that, yeah, the Game Boy is singing. Like, that is another example as to why you don't want to buy a fucking video game system on its launch date. I mean, take a look at what's going on eBay right now. People are already selling their pre-orders for somewhere between $1,000 to $5,000 for their pre-order sales on the Switch 2. Why would you do that? And then, like, some of the other people that are already buying multiple copies of the Switch 2, when they get them, they're going to flip them around and try to sell them on eBay also for $1,000 because the stores won't have them. Everybody who already pre-ordered it, like, it's going to fuck, like, it's been like this since the PS3 or even the PS4. It's ridiculous. And so, like, if you wait, you'll be able to, they'll produce more. They'll slash the fucking prices. Although, like, there was one guy who ended up saying that, like, with the exclusives that Nintendo is going to come out with on the Switch 2, whether it be like Mario Kart or the new Donkey Kong, or any other game that they come out, like during the Switch. Like, I just went to the video game store the other day and I took a look at the fucking prices for some of their exclusives on Nintendo, and they're finally fucking coming down on price for used copies of the exclusives. They're never gonna fucking drop the prices on their main exclusives. I even went to Meijer to take a look at their exclusives on Nintendo Switch. They're still the same fucking price that they were on the day of their launch. I'm not going to buy a fucking game for $70. All right, I'm not gonna. Well, for like the newer systems, I've bought video games that were like insanely high in price. I've already shown you multiple times my copy of Little Samson because I am proud of that. But it was $2,000. That one's actually a collectible. A lot of these other games really aren't. I mean, take a look at Mario 1, 2, and 3. None of them are above $20. All right, because so many of them are already sold. So what's the point?
Ain't that some crap? It's a trap, so you got to be staunch, child. Don't ever buy a console at launch or Apple product, but don't ever, never, never buy a modern gaming console at launch. Don't try it, don't you buy that console at launch. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your fucking lesson, all right? That's your lesson. Don't buy a console at launch. Do the smart thing. You can wait a year and a half before the prices on them go down. And by that time, they're probably going to come out with a pro version anyways. So, yeah. Like, this is one of the things about the video gaming industry that I fucking hate. And people wonder why I just stick to retro shit. I mean, I used to buy these consoles at launch. Like, you know, or like I would buy them brand new from the stores and stuff like that. Even after even within the first fucking year. But like ever since the PS4 where like and all the other systems that have like first day patches, fucking pointless. It's pointless to have that. Like, I can understand having a game for like, after a year of it existing and then having to download a patch, or even 6 months after the game has been launched and buying a new patch, and having to patch it because of shit like that. But it's just like, fuck the launch date. All right, so let's get on to the next topic of conversation. So in the title, you already saw that I ended up saying why Mike Patton needs to gather. Yeah, that's an Apple product. Don't buy an Apple product at launch either. Like, he already said that. Here.
Trap, so you got to be stone shy. Don't ever buy a console at launch or Apple product.
There you go. Or Apple product. I played my PS4 until 2023. I still have my PlayStation 4, and I only have that just for the sake of having digital downloads. As of right now, I am working on putting all my PS4 games on an external hard drive. Yeah, fuck Apple anyways. But at least Apple was smart enough to understand that with this tariff nonsense, they invested, what was it? $500 billion into America. And they're probably going to start building, fucking manufacturing companies here in the States to bring down the price and value of their phones, or to keep it where they are. But anyways, yeah, so like I said, there's a video that I came across which I wanted to explain because, like, I don't know if you guys remember the list of fucking like on April Fools. So it's like, yeah, back in April Fools there was a list of people who were apparently going to be a part of the Gathering of the Juggalos, Gathering of Legends, and Mike Patton was one of those names. Now, it was obviously a fucking April Fool's joke brought to us by Psychopathic or whoever the fuck made it. But like, I have been vying for Mike Patton of Faith No More, Tomahawk, Fantomas, Mr. Bungle, and why he needs to fucking actually be at the Gathering. Mike Patton, I honestly think, is a fucking juggalo and doesn't even realize it, or he's too fucking crazy to admit it. But I came across this video on Loudwire that says Mike Patton interviews, but they get increasingly unhinged. So Mike Patton is unhinged. He is a fucking crazy genius, and I say that about very few people. I've said that about Mike Patton. I've said the same thing about Danny Elfman of Oingo Boingo. And both of those guys, I personally think, would be epic at the fucking Gathering of the Juggalos because they are unhinged and psychotic and fucking nuts. But let's go ahead and watch some of these interviews.
Guest host for the next 3 hours. Sorry about that, but we're going to show you top 10 videos, meaning the most hideous videos.
Now I have done reactions to Mike Patton in the past, probably on my metal reaction channel, but let's just be honest here. Like, this should explain why Mike Patton needs to gather.
Ipecac is your new...
My new label.
Your new label.
Ipecac Recordings. And basically, I started that label out of sheer necessity. As I continued to make music, I learned very quickly that I would have a lot of strange records in my back pocket that no one would know what the hell to do with.
Yeah, that I agree. Like, if you've ever listened to Mr. Bungle or Fantomas, he is insane. Alright? Like, literally, like, there's a fucking, my former roommate Vinny, who I used to live with back in the day, like, he and I would have extensive conversations about Mike Patton. And he's like, there's a fucking album that he came out with, according to what my boy Vinny said. He said apparently there's a self-titled Mike Patton album that literally sounds like he dropped acid and fucking made an entire album in a hooker motel with a 4-track Korg machine, where it was just like wind chimes, and then him just going, arr, 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 next track, or some stupid shit like that. It's just like, he is fucking insane. And people really wouldn't know what to do with his fucking music, which I guess is a good thing that he made his own company, record company, to release his own shit, because who else would?
MySpace is quite the phenomenon. 2 weeks before my Peeping Tom record came out, we streamed the whole record live, and there were 60,000 streams. Lots of little rivers and streams. It's amazing that there's a resource out there, especially for a lot of unsigned bands, people who are doing it themselves.
Yeah, this is back in the MySpace days, so yeah. He understood, like, back in the day, MySpace was definitely a fucking thing to do. So he's technologically fucking adhering and understanding of how social media fucking worked back in the day. I mean, like, how many fucking Juggalo rappers got their fucking launch because of MySpace? Or even other bands like Psychostick. Psychostick even fucking got their name out there because of MySpace. A lot of emo bands ended up getting their names out there because of MySpace. I believe even the homegirl fucking Illegal got her name out there because of fucking MySpace.
Where they can get their music out there.
I mean, that's before fucking Reverb Nation and shit like that, I think.
Gene, baby.
Thank you, man. That's
Aww.
nice.
I think singers and guitar players are the stupidest, most overrated, pieces of a band. Singers are horrible. They just want to pat themselves on the back and be heard, and maybe I think a lot of singers were ignored as children or something.
I mean, yeah, I agree to that one, but like, listen to some of the shit that he fucking sings. One day you're thinking that maybe you're feeling better. You're probably an okay person if you only had a job. Like, listen to him. Like, listen to the song As the Worm Turns. It's fucking crazy as shit. And he says this stuff, which I agree.
But the same goes for guitar players. It's like,
Man, the
guitar is usually an extension of the guitar player's dick.
Yeah, that's the wank. Right? Yeah, he didn't even describe that. I think everybody kind of knows that now.
Everyone,
anyway.
yeah, it's like, it's got a little mirror
tacky,
on it. That's one of those myths that is true.
It's Brent Zenel, Davenport, North, who wants to know what motivates you to go wild on stage.
Gee, Brent.
It's an interesting question.
Yeah. Usually,
I mean, for him, it's like for people who watch him do his crazy antics on stage and shit, like dropping fucking acid and coming out with Mr. Bungle, all with everybody fucking dressed up in chef outfits for no fucking reason. For like everybody else, it's like, oh, he's so unique and artsy, and he's like, that's just Tuesday.
it just kind of happens. It's like a bodily function, when you get up after you sleep.
Basically, he's explaining what? That it's an involuntary thing? He's just like, I don't know what I'm fucking doing when I'm out there.
Been sleeping all night. For some reason, you just have to take a leak. You just do. You just walk to the bathroom, and it's the first thing you do sometimes.
Let's see. Hold on a second. Mike Patton has said that his voice is his musical instrument. He also voiced all the monsters in I Am Legend. He also voiced the darkness in the video game The Darkness. Now, when he says that his voice is his musical instrument, he's actually not lying. That is actually a very true statement. If you listen to him when he's fucking singing Epic on from Faith No More, like he's pinching his fucking vocals while he's singing every once in a while. Like, he's the only person who actually does this type of stuff. Like, when you listen to the fucking chorus, You want it all, but you can't have it. Like, the way that he fucking pinches his vocals, the way that he motions his fucking mouth, it's almost the same thing as, like, with the fucking, with, like, death metal mid-screams and growls and even the fucking cult screams. Like, it's basically just, like, a changing in your vocality while you're fucking, while you're fucking singing. It's a combination of, moving your vocal cords around, moving your lips around in a certain position to make different words sound differently than they normally would. Because anybody else that's in karaoke, that would be singing epic, like, they would just do it normal. You want it all, but you can't have it. As opposed to him, you want it all, but you can't have it. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference. Like, that's why he would say his shit is a fucking musical instrument. And then you listen to him fucking doing Tomahawk, where he sounds like Yoko Ono.
Sometimes, like, the first thing you do when you get in the shower is, like, instinctively take a leak, right?
Or if he's, like, fucking doing shit with, Faith No More and shit, and he's riding the fucking boom, the mic boom with the microphone in his fucking mouth as he's fucking singing. Yeah. Or listen to, like, some of the other stuff, like, even when he does the fucking Faith No More shit, where where he's, like, singing stuff prior to him becoming the lead singer of Faith No More, he still does the same thing. But, like, the original lead singer of Faith No More didn't do stuff with his vocals and his mouth movements like he fucking did. He kind of reminds you of Jeffrey from OG Mushroomhead. Jeffrey Nothing. I don't know, but, like, just look at this fucking still shot. He literally looks like a serial killer. Like, he has that look of somebody who's, like, a psychotic fucking axe murderer. He looks like he's being interviewed from prison right now.
I mean, I think a lot of people, that's kind of the way performing is.
This is terrible.
No, music sucks.
Yes, the sandwich interview.
I don't know. I really don't like to listen to music very much anymore.
Yeah. Probably one of his best fucking interviews, and the entire time he's just eating a club sandwich.
Kind of don't have really many goals at all. I would like to shave my entire body. I want to do that, and I want to catch a disease and then get rid of it. Nothing serious, just like, I don't know. Was that offensive?
Yes, on the.
This dude's fucking nuts. Now, the funniest thing was in that interview. Now, I mean, it's not even funny. It's actually true, and I agree with him on this. He ended up saying music sucks, and he said that he basically said what makes music suck the most is the fact that humans are involved with it, and that the further away from human reach that music can get, the healthier music will be. And I agree with him on that.
Bus, what do I like to do? Probably just get hammered. I just like to just get hammered. Usually alone, in my bunk. I'll crawl into my bunk. I'll get in the fetal position, and I have a little straw that I have hooked up to a whiskey bottle, and I'll just sit there and until I pass the fuck out. Anthony Kiedis ruined Mr. Bungle's career.
Oh no. Oh god, his hatred for Anthony Kiedis, which I fucking agree with. Fuck Anthony Kiedis.
He kicked us off a festival because he didn't want to play on the same bill. You believe that? Yep. True story, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we're not. Ah, yes.
He just takes the microphone. He's getting served a fucking meal while he's getting in there.
He's a junkie.
Oh, that's tea.
He's a junkie with, and I can attest to this, a Nodelschwanz.
Fuck the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, you listen to Mr. Bungle, and you'll probably never want to listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers again. I mean, there's a couple of old songs that are okay, but like, after Californication, the rest of it just sucks. That's funny as hell. He said he's got a noodle schwanz.
What is that? He's got a noodle dick. And I think Anthony deep down feels like I'm a better dancer than he is. I think I shake my booty just a little bit fresher than he does.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, Show Me Your Soul. Why did you choose that?
Oh, I have to program that because I have to watch the singer in the video so I can copy exactly every move that he makes.
Still on the fucking hate train for Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Because I want to be him.
Mike, you programmed Jive Bunny and the Master Mixes in the Mood. Why did you program that?
Because it's one of the stupidest songs I've ever heard in my life. And the video's apt. It's just as stupid as the song, so...
Like, how ironic is it that for somebody who's a major figure in the music industry that he hates music so fucking much? Perfectionism is key with this guy.
I think everyone should see it and realize how dumb it really is.
Oh god, the fucking Wolf Mother diss. Yeah, like, check this out. He's getting interviewed and he interrupts his own interview.
These are all things that really I've been wanting to do for 5 years, so in a strange way.
This
Are
Wolf,
you hearing this?
Wolf Mother's playing in the fucking background.
What year are we in? Forgive me, but Wolf Mother, you suck. Help me! Am I crazy? Can I get an amen?
I mean, you are crazy, but amen, brother.
But it's only like it's only the 6th episode band that's out this year.
God, could you imagine how badly he would fucking shit all over Insane Clown Posse for the, for like the music that they play? I mean, like, everybody already thinks that Insane Clown Posse sucks, but to get Mike Patton to fucking say something negative about Insane Clown Posse, as much as it would piss off the Juggalos, personally, I think it would be a badge right on ICP's sleeve.
Oh my god! Enough already! Are people that stupid? I guess they are.
Yes.
I don't have to say it. You got ears.
Yeah, Woman by Wolf Mother is playing in the background, and he's just like, in pain.
Okay, here I am. Just popped out into the
Oh shit, wubba wubba wubba.
audience. Here I am with the lead singer of Faith No More. We got Mike Patton. Are you enjoying the show so far?
I'm having a wonderful time.
Well, I know there's somebody out there that you want to see. She's going to be here. She's hot and she's ready. Madonna. She's going to be performing live, and also don't forget we have Cher. She's going to be presenting the best video of the year, and also you'll be able to see this guy out on the road with Billy Idol. Faith No More opening up for Billy Idol. So right now, don't go anywhere else. We'll be right here.
Wubba wubba wubba.
Yeah. So if you don't remember Downtown Julie Brown, the black English chick, that was her fucking gimmick. Wubba wubba wubba. That's why he said that. That's why I said that. As soon as I saw Julie Brown, I was like, yeah. Wubba wubba wubba. That was made on accident, by the way. Yeah, Downtown Julie Brown actually explained that was on accident. But it ended up becoming the best thing in her career.
Talking about sex with friends, this same situation would happen? Well, there's a period of time where you just start talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
For me, when I was really young, I used to masturbate in front of everyone because I didn't know. My parents didn't tell me it was a bad thing.
And how was the reaction, if you can remember that?
Well,
just don't do it. It was like
I think my parents kind of got a kick out of it. I think it was like entertainment for them.
What the fuck? Like, this is unhinged as fuck.
We would have friends over, like my parents would have friends over, and
That might come into your number.
Well, kind of, yeah. It's like, you know how they say, oh, play the piano for everybody. Yeah.
Whip your dick out.
Would say, come on, Mike, show him your dick.
Was he really serious?
Oh shit! This is something I didn't know about. Yeah. Wow, your parents are fucking. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but it just sounds fucking crazy.
Being after you and putting the case in the court. Like, what was the actual problem between his orchestra and?
I don't know. I was just in a club once, trying to meet a friend.
Ну, честно сказать, непонятно. Я однажды был в клубе, должен был встретиться с другом.
I went into the bathroom.
Пошел в туалет.
I was going to take a pee.
Вот, ну извините,
Ну,
просто
понятно,
приспичило.
да. And there in the urinal, you know where you go, was this man. He was on his knees and his face was in the urinal.
Вот, и там, значит, стоял этот мужик, то есть лицом прямо в писсуаре на коленях.
It was like a horse when he drinks out of a trough, you know.
То есть очень похож был на лошадь, которая пьет из корыта.
And I thought maybe he passed out. Like, what the hell? Maybe I should help this guy.
Я так подумал, что, может быть, человеку
So I
плохо,
got
он
his
так
head and pulled it
отключился.
up. And it was
Вот, я
Elton
его
John.
взял за волосы, значит, приподнял. Это был Элтон Джон.
Собственно говоря, hi, Elton John, how are you, man? And he turned to me and he spit on my face.
This is fantastic.
Вот, он ко мне повернулся и плюнул мне в лицо.
Вероятно, тем, что он пил из... Так. And that was that fight. That was it.
And that was the fight. And that's the craziest fucking thing. But dude, like, if you listen, like, literally, fucking take the time, go on Spotify or whatever fucking app that you use for music and give yourself a treat, okay? Listen to fucking Mr. Bungle. I don't remember the name of the album, but it's the one that has the clown face on it. Insane as fuck. Especially that first track, like, it's crazy. But also listen to his Fantomas, the director's cut album. The very first one is like, it's all fucking like versions of movie soundtrack songs and shit. And the first one being The Godfather, and it sounds fucking crazy as shit. A couple of songs that are good with fucking Faith No More, obviously Epic. You want to listen to Midlife Crisis. There was a song that was on Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I can't remember the name of the song, but that one's also pretty fucking good. As the Worm Turns is another fucking good song from them. Like, listen to a live version of As the Worm Turns by Faith No More. Probably the most slept on fucking song, but it's so fucking fresh. They did do a cover of the song Easy. You know, easy like Sunday morning. And it's Mike Patton fucking doing that shit. So, like, give yourself a fucking treat and just go down the fucking Mike Patton, roller coaster. You'll definitely understand why I vie for Mike Patton to be at the Gathering of the Juggalos someday. Like, I want this to fucking happen. I'm putting it out there in the fucking universe. Mike Patton performing at the Gathering of the Juggalos main stage for whatever fucking reason it is, whether it's Faith No More, Mr. Bungle, Fantomas, Tomahawk, whatever the fuck. He needs to be there. He needs to fucking see something that's probably more insane than he actually is. Alright, and with that said, let's go into the next thing. Juggalo TikToks. I found a couple of them. I found a compilation. And I don't know how long I'm going to last with this, because I'm usually not a fan of juggalos being on TikTok. Half the time, it's not even fucking juggalos. It's just chicks dressed up in clown outfits and stuff. And then they just count them as juggalos. But here we go.
Holy crap, I'm in Fortnite! Oh my gosh, this is so freaking epic! Holy crap, Donald Trump! Hello, Peter. Welcome to Fortnite.
What? Okay, that sucked. That was terrible. Okay, here's another one. I think she's gonna show us how to bake a pie.
Welcome to Cooking with a Juggalo. Today we're making strawberry pie. So you just kind of want to cover the bottom of the pie pre-made pie crust because I can't bake.
What are you doing?
With this strawberries. Take the back of a spoon, make it even. Wash your strawberries and your hands. Cut them up. Dump them. You can put more on top if you want, unless your pie is full. But yeah, I'm putting more on top.
What are you doing? Yeah, because this is totally fucking absolute entertainment.
You can garnish with Cool Whip and extra strawberries.
Did you forget about the part where you're supposed to put it into the fridge and let it chill for a couple of hours, so that way all the shit can solidify? And did you also forget about the part where you're supposed to take fucking the pie crust shit and like make a make the fucking tic-tac-toe fashion on the top of your fucking pie?
But that's for tomorrow. Thank you.
You suck, alright? I think I'm just gonna learn how to cook with fucking watching Sarah Rusi at this point. Even with all the fucking bouncing and jiggling that she fucking does on her TikTok, it still is something that I can follow pretty well to figure out how to fucking make food. It's not even a hot chick, dude. Like, you can't tell, because, like, the contour of her face is off because she's wearing fucking makeup. Not to mention, I don't know how old she is, so I ain't saying shit.
You're so cute.
But I ain't cute, bitch. I'm ugly.
Why did that become a fucking thing on TikTok? There's so many fucking chicks who have been doing that. Even a couple of chicks that I've seen that aren't even fucking juggalos that do this shit. Why did that have to be a fucking TikTok trend? Give me something good.
Fuck you did. We don't need you, ho. ICP, forever with the juggalo. That's right.
Okay, so for one, I appreciate the Death Note poster in the background, but if you're gonna do this and quote and like lip sync ICP lyrics, please, for the love of God, fucking put some life into it.
I was really hoping to check in and see if anyone had noticed the paper or not. I just realized I might have done something really, really bad.
I don't get it.
I see fucking pieces. Abracadabra, boom, shaka day. I'm Valentine and I'm back like a vertebrae. And I come with a hat full of tricks, trunk full of Fago, car full of factions. Fuck you.
Okay, last day of school. I mean, TikTok can be cringe, but like I personally don't follow trends on TikTok. Most of the stuff that I watch on TikTok usually tends to be fucking political because I think it's hilarious. But like this, yeah, okay. I will say this, like the inner me on this one is basically like, I've done that. I did that in high school. I mean, what are they gonna do on the last day of school? Kick you out for fucking putting on face paint and putting your hair up in Liberty spikes? Not to mention the shirt and tie thing, I actually do like that look. I always have, especially when you fucking make it so it's, so it's unkempt. So, using the word cringe when you're not Gen Z or Gen Alpha is kind of cringe.
The beast lives.
Oh, God. Turning into a insane clown posse juggalo. Okay, so you have your typical fucking goth chick
Out
here.
of the raging storm, in the dead of night, the ravenous, blood-sick creature searches for its sacrifice. Through the hideous darkness it lurches, driven by death itself. Only the satisfaction of slaughter will cause it to return to the darkness
Good Lord.
from which it came.
Boys and girls, it's 99 time. Happy Day the Clown has a nursery rhyme. It's about the boogie woogie man.
She did it very good. Oh, I'd like that. Okay, so like that I'll actually appreciate. Like, she actually took the time and stayed within the lines and all of that stuff. Like, that one I don't mind. These TikTokers are all like 15. Whatever happened to just listening to the music and vibing? The fuck is this? I mean, yeah, but like, just the fact that the way that they fucking did the face paint, like, I can appreciate that. She didn't like make it look like a rush job. It was kind of like a how-to video. It's just the very beginning of it was just like, the fuck? Oh god, here's another one. My take on Juggalo face paint, but my piercing is still healing. Okay. So she kind of did it, but like, this somehow ended up becoming a trend. I feel like I've had that shirt when I was a kid. I feel like I've had a shirt with that design on it before. Okay, next one. Damn it, I was vibing with that fucking song. Because, you know, that's the song that they fucking used to do the first track on, yeah. What was that song from Dog Beats? Because they had that synthesizer, dun 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 dun. Like they had that fucking sampled on the first track. Ghetto Zone, I think it was called. Violent J's never get a hard street shit. You know it's potent when the funky ass beat hits. So man, fuck that shit. I was vibing on that. But yeah, another fucking TikTok kid. I don't know how old she was, but what the fuck? Fuck you then. We don't need you. Oh, this again? ICP forever with the Juggalo. Ugh. What the fuck? Fuck you then. We don't need this again? ICP forever with the Juggalo. Oh god, these fucking god, I'm 42 years old watching TikToks from fucking teenagers. Was I like this 30 years ago? Like, watching this is just so fucking ugh. Did I it makes me wonder, did I act like this like 25, 30 fucking years ago when I really got into Juggalo shit? Creepy, pointy, yellow sound effect. SFX teeth. Fake but realistic. Skip 17 seconds after countdown if needed. Stay safe. What the fucking what? It's gonna be just a jump scare.
You're so cute.
What? I ain't cute.
Oh god, this again?
I'm ugly.
Where was it? Where were the creepiness teeth? You fucked that up, you two generic looking fucks. Look, I have a Fago and clown paint. Am I Juggalo now?
You invited a party clown! I'm afraid of party clowns!
That was not a clown, that was my Juggalo friend. But your fear was warranted. He's the one who set the piñata on fire.
I've never heard that fucking clip before. But that one was kind of funny. What up, Emo Metal? Mrs. Derpy 12. Fuck you then, we don't need you, ho. Oh my god, it's My Chemical Romance. And she's got her face painted to look like fucking Malenko. ICP, forever with the jug. Oh yeah, because, you know, you're so Juggalo because you went... Tonight will be the night that I will fall for you over again. Okay, that one's different. I like those reveal videos. Like, I do like the fact that somebody has actually, like, I don't know who came up with the idea of doing that reveal effect like that. And this chick is definitely like in all red. Jesus Christ. She is a fan of the red. She's all about the reds.
You destroyed music! Give it up for fuckface, everyone!
Wait, what did that just say? I didn't read all of that. Hold on. I was paying more attention.
Destroyed.
ICP being about acceptance and progress, while some juggalos are some of the most racist and problematic people I've ever met. What? Then they're not fucking juggalos, and this is why gatekeeping is important.
Music!
Gatekeeper gang.
Give it up for fuckface, everyone!
Jesus Christ. I mean, that's definitely one of those things that you have to fucking look for, you know what I'm saying?
I like Shaggy, he's my friend. I like his mom, cause she's nice to me. Thank you, Jay, I like you too. Oh, well, it's okay, we're family.
Put some more life into it. And then on top of that, like, you gotta remember, like, if you're trying to set this up as a fucking duet, because that's obviously what this is set up for, is to fucking be a duet. Don't try to do landscape for TikTok. It's hot dog, not hamburger. And when they go to an ICP concert and a bottle of Faygo hits their head, they are crying. Yeah, and then they try to sue the venue and sue the clowns and all this other shit. We've been through that shit before. They're all like, they all want to be juggalos until they want to be juggalos until it's time to do juggalo shit. And then when it's time to do juggalo shit, they're like, oh no, I'm gonna sit in the back because I don't want to get wet or I don't want to get hit. Fuck that shit. In 2009, I went to go see ICP during the Bang Pop Boom Tour. I got hit in the head with 7 things. All right. Bottles, crates, boxes, and a Wendy's t-shirt that was soaked to shit. I lost my glasses twice.
You're so cute.
But I ain't cute, bitch. I'm ugly.
Stop it.
You're so cute.
Stop it.
But I ain't cute, bitch. I'm ugly.
Oh my god, there's like 0 life in these fucking uglies. Like in the pug ugly fucking shit, there's like 0 life in these people.
Whoop whoop! I just wanted to let all the juggalos know that you can now get Faygo on the TikTok shop if it's not in your area, so that you can all enjoy that juggalo juice. Whoop whoop!
Oh my god. So that's probably somebody in their 20s, and now I'm looking at it like, was I like this 20 years ago? I mean, without the face paint and shit, no. Like, God. God damn. Like, trust me when I say, to be a juggalo, you don't have to paint your face up, put yourself on a camera, and act like an unhinged idiot. Just saying. Be regular. All right, if you're already naturally an unhinged idiot and you don't have to fucking dial it up to 12 in order to be an unhinged idiot, then that's fine. But as a fucking person who is on camera a lot, I know who is and is not hamming it up for the fucking camera. Okay, so this is not the fucking song that you want to play when you're fucking 13 years old painting up. Maybe that's what they're trying to do with this, is trying to fucking catch a predator. Sorry, Shane Coates is already in prison. Okay, I like the camera angle in this, like, no fucking lie. That looks like a pretty tall fucking wall for a bedroom. Where are you? Oh my god, I see video game electronics and stuff like that nearby. Don't spray this all over the fucking place. Okay, you did the smart thing. And that was it. Like, that was literally it.
You invited a party clown! I'm afraid of party clowns!
That was not a clown, that was my juggalo friend. But your fear was warranted. He's the one who set the piñata on fire.
I didn't. Okay, that one actually is kind of funny. But, like, the sound, not the video. The video sucks, but the sound's actually pretty funny.
You're so cute.
Oh, Christ.
What? I ain't cute, bitch. I'm ugly.
Okay, that is some unique fucking makeup. Not gonna lie. The party hat sucks. Everything else about this sucks, but the makeup is pretty fucking fresh. And of course, I hate the whole pug ugly thing. Just that face paint was cool. Everything else was just like swag weed.
Anything for thee, don't ignore me. This is more than a sick love story. Without you, I'd bring a shotgun to school, and I will if you want me to. For any reason, I hate that you leave when the lights come on, and if I had it my way, the fucking sun would be gone.
Okay, what the fuck makeup was she using for this? Because that is like white. That is like, that literally looks like sticker-on fucking face paint, but you know that it's actually face paint.
I can't ignore you. Do anything for you, baby. I do adore you.
Okay, like, I guess that's okay.
No, you...
Me, if the police ever tried to arrest me because I yelled whoop whoop in a public space. Oh my god. No, that doesn't fucking happen anymore. Alright? We took care of that in 2017. Now, if a fucking cop pulls you over and sees that you're a juggalo and they try to give you a fucking increased sentence or anything else that's problematic, a judge is just gonna laugh at that cop. Because it doesn't exist anymore.
That can't be. This is a setup. I don't know this guy.
Okay, whatever. Okay, that one I like. Like, that one set a good tone for To Catch a Predator. Cool to see the next generation of the fam. On one hand, yes, but on the other hand, they're going to have to understand constructive criticism from the old heads. We set the bar pretty fucking high. Because, like, we're basically, like, for me as an elder juggalo, I'm basically, like, looking at this shit like, no, don't. All right, just don't fucking do this. Whatever it is that you're thinking about doing, do not do. Okay? We've been down that route before. You look retarded. And then they get offensive and triggered because I said the word retarded, which is gay.
And I'm curious, and I'm only 12. Mom and Dad are gone for the day. I'm by myself.
But I like this one because of the fact that she's already painted up. She's got the mask on to, to basically try to do that whole lure thing. And then she takes the mask off, painted up, and does the whole fucking psychotic episode thing. Like, she is showing life in this fucking clip. So this one I can fuck with.
Buckets I throw up are next to my computer, hoping that they show up, because what I'm about to do to them would make the devil...
I just don't like the fact that they ended up turning this into a fucking Nightcore version of ICP.
basic, I sharpen my blade. Front to this curve like I'm only in the 7th grade.
I don't know. Maybe that's a dude. I don't know. I can't I don't know. Maybe it's offensive for me to even question these things and assume pronouns nowadays, but I just can't fucking tell.
I gotta get him inside. In my best little girl's voice, I'm like, hey!
What are you? Okay, the name is Cherry Blossom Taiga. That's the TikTok at? No, I don't want to see that. You know the whole song. Okay, you overstayed your welcome at this point. Now everything else is just normal. Like, the very beginning was dope, and then you overstayed your fucking welcome. Juggalo baby. When I accidentally eat face paint while doing my Juggalo's makeup. Okay, so that's a doll, but it's whatever. And I think that was it. Please tell me that was it. Yeah, that was it. God. Jesus fuck. Like, a lot of these kids, it's like, okay, look, I understand. When you're a kid, you're excited about, hold on a second. Let's change the channel. When you're a kid and just getting into the Juggalo shit, like, I mean, like, I was the same way, but I was also hit with a lot of constructive criticism when I started finding more Juggalos, especially on the internet. And there were some things that was said that was actually rather hurtful because we threw no punches back. We threw hard hits all the time back in the old days. And it really did fucking help us out with fucking having tougher skin and possible trauma and mental problems in the future, but that's neither here nor there. But like, as I see a lot of these newer kids that have come in through, like, every few years, there's usually like a whole crop of newer, younger Juggalos that come into the fold and stuff, and they do the exact same shit that we used to do back in the day. That was just like fucking annoying as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, okay, look, we're a little bit more seasoned now, and we've done this shit. We don't really want to see the shit again for some of us. Because, like, nowadays it's just like, okay, look, get off my Juggalon at this point with me and a whole bunch of other older, more seasoned veteran Juggalos. But I guess, it's just Juggalos doing what Juggalos do. It's just that the technology is newer and social media is on the rise and stuff. So they're kind of just doing what they think is what Juggalos fucking do. But then there's a bunch of us that are just like, no, you don't, this is not how you want to fucking do, And then they do it even harder. And so then we have to fucking make fun of them for doing all that shit. And that's the end of the episode. So, yeah, that's basically all. That's not all I got, but it's midnight, so I'm getting the fuck up out of here. Thank you guys for coming in and watching and participating up in the chat. Juggalo One of a Kind, I will check out what the homie Cold has put up on here. And maybe I'll post it on here for next week's episode. So with that being said, I'm Crazy McCormick. I'm out this bitch. You guys have a good one. And don't forget to download that Chrome extension in the, that I have pinned up in the link. I have a link pinned up here. Click that, and you'll be able to start adding motherfuckers to that so that way you can lurk when anybody goes live and you miss it. So that way they get the fucking view and the ad revenue. Just saying, it helps out everybody. All right, I'm out this bitch. Take care. Deuces, y'all.